Radio. Listen to Dadio. Dangerous podcast. It's the elite. Lave Radio. So much to say, Dio. This side of Diso. We're loving the heat.
I hope someone knows what we're talking about.
They mean disco.
Lave Radio. It's here to stay, Dio. Orange Sidewinders.
This is your crew.
Lave Radio. Hey, 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 Dio. With second technician.
Forrester 2.
Ooh.
It's come.
It's a podcast that's based on a game. Not to listen would be such a shame. It makes other stations sound very lame. That's Lave Radio.
Ooh, swing your pants.
No, Simon, we're not them. We're pink custard.
We cut the mustard.
We're never flustered.
We can be trusted.
Lave Radio, this song's for you.
For the Orange Sidewinder crew.
Elite Dangerous is what you do.
And then you talk a lot about it too.
Lave Radio, ready to play, Dio.
Search for their website
and off you go. Lave Radio, nothing to pay, Dio. Sci-fi gamer, DJ fans, this is your show.
Oh, it's a niche audience then.
This is radio online called Lave. With DJs Chris's, Alan, John,
but not Dave.
Forever surfing internet airwaves. That's Lave Radio. It's a podcast that's based on a game. Not to listen would be such a shame. It makes other stations sound very lame. That's Lave Radio. Lave Radio. Lave Radio. Lave Radio.
Is this, are you sure it's Lave?
Yeah, Lave Radio.
It's not Love Radio.
Well, no, we all love Lave Radio.
No, but it's not live radio.
Oh, well, I don't know whether it's live or Lave Radio live, and we love it.
Wishing on a star, we'll make this journey together. Wishing on a star, our only hope is together.
Warning, temperature critical. Fuel scooping complete.
Galnet News Digest, 23rd of November 3307. We read the news so you don't have to.
In this week's news, if anyone can, Cannon can.
Dark clouds over Madrid.
Brewer has something brewing.
Thinking about the winking cat.
And Benjamin the rodent.
If anyone can, Cannon can. There's a quiet battle going on in Hit 43670 for the future of the Scriveners clan Dredger. Orion University is collecting data to try to win the trust of the Scriveners clan, and the Friends of the Scriveners are collecting equipment to repair the Dredger so the Scriveners can go on their way without having to negotiate with the university. For some, it's a question of whether the Scriveners' knowledge core should be made public. For others, it's a matter of protecting an indigenous tribe from outside influence. If it wins out, Orion University will place academics on board the Dredger and will analyse the content of the Scriveners' accumulated knowledge. It says it will not force the Scriveners to leave, and it will not enforce its ownership of the Dredger, but some observers are worried what impact opening up the knowledge core will have on Scrivener society. Then again, what if there's something really important hidden away in that knowledge base? Canon Research, the galaxy's most important research organisation, has noted that Orion University has changed its story and wonders whether it can be trusted. Canon is also concerned that the university is not offering to help repair the Dredger, which is reported to be in a dangerous condition. Accordingly, Canon has chosen to help the Scriveners rather than OU. Using the slogan, "Take our money," they've set up 23 fleet carriers in G-139-3 and LTT 17102 and are buying emergency power cells at 3 times the galactic average, giving loaders profits of more than 6,000 credits a ton. Through this strategy, the Scriveners' appeal seems to be pulling slightly ahead of the Orion University campaign. But it is still a very close-run race, and there's every possibility that Orion University may try to claim a draw, or may even pull ahead before the campaigns come to an end early on Thursday morning.
We can now take you to a live Cannon press briefing from Commander LCU No Fool Like One aboard his fleet carrier.
Cannon are supporting the initiative to liberate the Scriveners because the Orion University's offer is simply not credible. They've changed direction more times than an anemometer in a hurricane or one of those cock things they used to have on top of places of worship on Terra back in the Dark Ages. First they claimed ownership, then they claimed it was for welfare, and now they just want to accompany the Scriveners to some quiet corner of the galaxy away from prying eyes. It's clear they just want the knowledge core no matter what the cost. I wouldn't trust Professor Perez as far as I could throw her on a 45G planet. I'm not sure she's fit for office. During her press conference, she started rambling on about Princess Astrophel, and then started making the sound of a Sidewinder engine. Clearly bonkers. An organisation like Canon, that stands for Open, Independent Science, would love to host a backup for the Scriveners, but we would never want to force them to hand it over. Our main concern is that the knowledge core is protected even if it remains in the hands of the Scriveners. We need to ensure that their vessel is able to move to a location where they can keep it maintained, and we will do everything we can to achieve that. But who knows what the university will do if they lose the initiative. I would urge the Scriveners to allow us to take a backup so that it's safe from those kleptomaniacs at the university. Now, I'll just read out some figures from our initiative, how we're doing with the dredger. Forgive me. Forgive me. We're doing very well.
Dark clouds over Madrid. With hostages on the Steel Majesty megaship, and with the ruling faction ready to come out fighting to defeat Marlinism, it's a surprise that conflict hasn't broken out yet. It seems to be only a matter of time before the Epsilon Phonacis Empire group tries to take the NMLA-controlled megaship, or perhaps Theta 7 will come out of hiding to detonate an enzyme bomb in Madrid to help the NMLA cause. The affiliated counter-terrorism unit, presented with a megaship full of terrorists, says it is unable to act because of the hostages. With tensions running high, it's only a matter of time before matters are taken out of ACT's hands, with potentially disastrous results for the hostages.
Brewer has something brewing. Fleet carrier manufacturer Brewer plans to complete the chain of 56 static megaships linking the bubble to Colonia by the end of this week. And they have something special in store for the new year. The reward of double-engineered frameshift drives that was handed out at the conclusion of Phase 2 of the project have been confirmed to take experimental effects such as deep charge and mass manager. If you want a lightweight Anaconda with a fuel-managed base jump range in excess of 90 light-years, and you have one of these modules, you're in luck. And Brewer made it clear that for Phase 3 of the Colonia Bridge project, they will again be offering these highly capable frameshift drives. They won't even hint at what Phase 3 will be, but whatever it is, you'll need to wait until January.
Thinking about the winking cat. There's a fair bit of speculation going round about what the sticky-fingered winking cat crew is up to. In the past month, they've stolen a ceremonial playing card from the Joker's Deck Gambling Club, an enormous portrait of a long-dead emperor, and a prototype security robot. The robot comes from the Achilles Corporation, a corporation that was rocked by scandal 3 years ago when it was discovered that their personal assistant robots had been modified to act as spies. In this latest incident, the prototype robot was stolen despite a guard of Model 801 security robots, which seem to have been disabled by the thief, which suggests that they're perhaps not very good security robots. No matter what is stolen, it's replaced by an image of a winking cat. The Warglass Detective Agency, which has been hired to recover the missing playing card, believes that the winking cat may have some specific plans for all the stolen goods. The winking cat also seems to take pride in getting into the most secure locations, such as the Scrivener's Clan Dredger. Orion University has been trying for weeks to get into that ship with no success. It would be entirely commensurate with the criminals' sense of wit and their delight in making political statements for them to secretly board the dredger and steal the contents of the knowledge core. And days later, when Orion University finally manages to board, and when they power up that knowledge core, they will be distinctly unamused to find that the knowledge core consists of the galaxy's finest collection of cute cat memes.
Benjamin the Rodent. The news that Commander Edelweiss of Lave Radio is training to become a fuel rat has caused dismay on several fronts. There have been reports of accidental ramming of clients, accompanied by a muffled tee-hee, ooh, missus sound. There have been reports of hatchbreaker limpets being inadvertently used, and of the expiring commander's last sight being 700 tons of palladium spilling into the void. There have been reports of stranded commanders having their life support accidentally refilled with hydrogen, which allows them to curse Commander Lave in a very high voice for a very short time prior to their Remlock ride home. More importantly, Lave Radio's own emergency response team has objected to what they see as Commander Lave's treachery in signing up to a different emergency service. Lave Radio's bio-waste badgers gently heat recycled tapes of Lave Radio episodes, which comprise the finest bio-waste to be found anywhere in the galaxy this side of Diso at any rate, to release methane. They then forcibly refuel Commander's ships with this foul-smelling gas, whether they need fuel or not, and then giggle like schoolchildren as the rescued Commander's ship squeaks and farts its way into hyperspace. You'd have thought the bio-waste badgers would be a perfect match for Commander Adler Weiss.
And that's this week's Galnet News. Galnet News. We read the news so you don't have to.
Amid the stars in the sky, humanity expands and thrives as it pushes back the boundaries of the universe. From the luxury of the core systems to the harsh worlds of the frontier, men still fight. Some fight for survival or greed. Some fight for a flag and others for retribution. But across the lonely darkness, they all share one aim: to be elite.
Escape Velocity, an elite dangerous audio adventure serial written and produced by Christopher Jarvis. Series 2, Episode 3, Escape to the Frontier.
May.
Not now.
You know what this means.
Of course I know. I know. I understand everything now, Thane. I'm a clone.
What? How can that be?
It's right in front of you, Thane. That bullet was meant for me. But we have to move. The sniper won't stop here.
But...
Move, Thane. Down here, quick.
The assassin's above us, and Ali won't help.
The sniper will have to move. If they stay in one place, station security will get them.
Thane, are you there?
Where are you?
Heading back to the ship. I figured we need to make a quick exit.
We'll meet you there. Get the engines hot.
Okay.
Thane, down this way.
But the station dock is this way.
Thane, think. The run to the docks is completely open. The sniper will see us heading there. We can't go that way. We'll be killed for sure.
How do you know these things?
Benefits of a private education. Can I have the communicator?
Sure.
Kerlek, do you read me? Over.
I'm at the ship. They're just installing the cabin.
Great. There's something else I need you to do.
Get inside and close the door, Dallas.
They've disappeared off the security grid.
Sit down and be still. If you vibrate the floor, you will make me miss the shot. And I don't like to miss.
They've gone. I'm telling you.
All the approaches to the space dock have an open section of 50 yards. They'll have to cross it. When they do, they're mine.
But there are 4 different entries to that section. You can't cover all 4.
Watch me. Watch me kill them both.
Yeah, I've just got a few terminals to check. I'll get down to the drive room and check those plates that need welding.
Excuse me, mate.
Third technician to you. Can I help you?
Ah, music fan, I see. Isn't that a Jagged the Banner patch on your overalls?
Yeah. I sold it on myself. It's from the 37 tour. Are you a fan?
Can you access all the maintenance doors from each terminal?
Yeah, it's a network system.
Oh, excellent. What if I were to tell you that not only was I a Jagged the Banner fan, but that I had access to all of their Dreamwear gigs?
Get out! Signian Dreams only did 200 copies of the Starliner balcony gig.
Well, if you will buy from the official store, I can get you one that's just as good.
I see. What do you want me to do?
This way.
Dead end.
Give it a sec. Kerlek will come through.
What is this room? I don't see how this helps.
Put these on.
But what are these? No. Don't you dare.
Put it on, quick! I told Kerlek to give us 60 seconds.
You can't be serious. We're going outside the station.
You said we needed a way to get to the ship without walking to the space dock. This is it.
But it's miles.
That's the inner door ceiling. Get your suit on.
I'm going to regret this.
I'm sorry, Thane. It's me they're after.
Hey, don't sweat it, kid.
I'm just glad you're okay. Airlock alarm. Get your helmet sealed.
I'm trying.
They're not coming.
It's impossible. They have to cross that stretch of the terminal to get to their ship.
Fine. You sit and wait. Dallas out. I've got a hunch they've already slipped past you. Come on. Where are you? Aha. Got you.
Look at the stars. It's so clear out here.
Yeah, it's very pretty. Concentrate. It's a very long walk to the docking bay doors. If your mag boots disconnect, you'll be hurled away from the surface pretty fast. Oh, feels like we're walking upside down. Have you given any thought to whether we have enough air to do this? Shouldn't we be finding another way back in somewhere?
Doesn't matter where we pop up, that sniper would have us covered. Besides, the service doors are open from inside the station.
I'm just glad you're okay. When I saw you get shot, I thought...
I didn't get shot. That wasn't me.
I know. Who was it, do you think?
Another one like me, I guess. I wonder if she had the same name, the same memories.
How is that possible?
I found my father's records. He was disgraced for immoral experiments on his own family. This must be what that means. He used his own children as a resource pool for creating clones.
But why?
I think... Wait, isn't that ship flying a bit close to the station?
You were right. They are there. Down there on the outside of the hull.
Moving into position.
Easy money. My ship lasers will vaporise them in moments.
Goodbye, mate.
They're firing. Get behind the stanchion.
Good job we're a tiny target.
They hit the hull. How long before corporate security come to clear them off?
Should be any moment now. Move! Over there, under the solar array.
Okay.
Can you get under?
Just about.
I don't think security are coming.
Did these guys pay them off or something? Who has enough leverage to sway station security?
We're not going to make it, are we?
It doesn't look like it.
Thank you, Thane, for trying to help me.
What else could I do?
Space, they keep moving.
Over there. They're in cover.
I'll just destroy everything down there.
Just the solar array? How much of this station can we tear apart before security decide we've outstayed our welcome?
Let's find out. Hold the ship steady for me. I'm going to line up the kill. What's that?
New radar contact.
Incoming! We're under fire! We're a sitting target!
Get us out of here!
They've gone! They were chased away! Security?
I don't think so. Look at that ship. She's even more beautiful from the outside.
When you've quite finished admiring my newbie flying skills, how do we get you on board this thing?
Okay, Kerlek, give us a bit of distance. May and I are going to detach our mag boots. We'll be thrown away from the station. Do you think you can cargo scoop us?
Hey, no problem. This isn't my first time flying a ship, you know. It's more like my second.
What was that?
Nothing. Let me know when you're ready.
We should hold hands.
For luck.
No, silly. If we're one object, Kerlik only has to make one pass.
Oh. Of course.
Welcome aboard, Commander.
Good job, Kerlek. You really pulled us out of the fire. Not bad flying for a green stick.
I prefer to do my business on the ground. Still, they were just sitting there, all stationary like. It wasn't too hard to line up the shot.
Thank you, Kerlik.
None of that now. My voice is will rust.
Right, let me get out of this suit.
What's this?
Ow! You pinched me!
Tracking chip. They must have put this on you somehow. They knew where you were. That's how they found her.
Destroy it! Let's get the hell out of this system. Did we get the upgrade?
Passenger cabin installed and online. The extra air scrubbers have kicked in. It smells fresher in here already. Plus the bed is very comfortable.
Don't rub it in.
Fueled?
I thought the cargo bay with hydro fuel. I thought you might be wanting to get away in a hurry.
Then let's go. We just have to make a chain of jumps and we're...
home.
Something like that.
Sensors indicate they've jumped out. Do we follow?
Of course we follow. The job isn't over until the target is destroyed. I hope there aren't any more clones you haven't told me about, Dallas.
I'd better take this.
Make your report, 39. Is it done?
Forgive me, Matriarch. The prototype got away.
What? How can this have happened?
There was a second unit on the station, part of the same batch.
Explain.
After the accident at the education centre, we could only account for so many corpses. There was too much destruction. May is the only one we saw escape. There could have been others.
That would explain the erratic sightings we've had from intelligence. What is the status of this other unit?
We assumed it was May. Commander Risha terminated her.
What was she doing in the same system?
The prototypes have a herding instinct. They yearn for family, but it's different in each unit. May is searching for her father. I'd estimate this other unit was looking for a sister. Her tracking skills led her to May.
The prototypes are even more resourceful and effective than we had imagined. Their ability to pursue a target and manipulate others into supporting their cause is unparalleled.
We are pursuing May and the renegade pilot into the frontier. We'll destroy them quickly. You have my word.
No. I have a better idea.
Matriarch?
The prototype's abilities support our original plan. Follow them. Carefully. I have something special in mind. May will finish her schooling.
Euroland, Type G Yellow Star, Frontier Outdoor World. Some farming and tourism.
That's the brochure version. And it's Euroland. Euroland makes it sound like a holiday park. Which it isn't, believe me.
It says tourism.
I can't see anyone vacationing all the way out here. That was a hell of a lot of jumps.
Slave tourists, mainly. Rich kids coming out here to whore and gamble their way through life without attracting media trouble.
It says slavery is illegal.
Trading in slaves is illegal. But in Euroland, everyone belongs to the corporation, sooner or later.
Where are we headed?
Gonzalez's mine.
What's there? People you can trust?
We'll see.
What if the reception is unfriendly?
We'll have to land either way. We're completely out of fuel. Well, there's a few gas giants we can scoop if things get ugly.
New radar contact.
Speaking of which...
Pirates! You don't seem worried.
Kid, this is the frontier. If we didn't get attacked, I'd be highly suspicious. Kurlek, May, get on the cameras. Tell me what they're doing.
They're shooting. What else?
Very helpful. Coming about. How many?
3.
Then this'll be interesting.
You got one.
Attention. REM block alarm.
Let's see how they respond to that.
They're not even picking up their own.
It's every man for himself out here. You need to be ready for that, May.
Son of a witch!
Shields at 47%.
They're turning round for another pass.
Hold on to something.
New radar contact.
What now?
Wait, they're heading for the pirates. The pirates are running.
They're Vipers. It's corporate security. They must have been attracted by the Remlock alarm.
Ah, great.
Why are you running?
Are you kidding? It's corporate security.
Aren't they on our side?
Not mine.
Incoming communication.
Open channel.
Pilot of craft EV-223. This is Cormac Reeve Corporate Security. You are identified as Elias Thane. You will surrender your craft and submit to arrest.
On what charge?
Possession of a stolen vehicle. Breach of indentured contract.
This ship is stolen?
You were a slave?
Okay, which question first?
Mine.
Mine.
I have a better idea. How about we kill these guys and talk later?
You're really going to shoot at corporate security?
Not for the first time.
Oh, space. No wonder you didn't want to come back here. They'll kill us.
When I did it before, the ship was still registered to the previous owner. They don't know it was me.
It doesn't seem to be stopping them.
Not a problem, we just go this way.
You're flying into a gas cloud.
The gas cloud is littered with mining dredgers. Corporate security have standing instructions not to shoot near the fleet. Any collateral damage comes out of their paychecks.
They're coming up alongside.
Pull over.
And...
One down.
Coming about.
He's moving all over the place. He's really good.
Yeah, but he isn't shooting, which gives us the advantage.
Missile detected.
You had to jinx it.
Sensors show a dense mineral cloud further in. Crystals and rock dust. Hold on. This is going to hurt.
We'll be destroyed.
We'll be damaged, but the rock particles should detonate the missile.
Ow!
Missile contact lost.
Where are they?
Scanners can't see through the debris.
Give me eyes on the cameras, people. What do you see?
Thane, above us.
Which hell?
He overshot us. He's in the mineral cloud. He's not moving. The crystals have choked his engines.
Perfect.
You got him.
I got him. What's my second rule?
Never hold fire.
Good girl.
Anything?
Negative. No outbound hyperspace trail.
So, Thane and the girl are in his system, somewhere.
Which is handy. The corporation here is small and on our payroll. We can leverage their help.
I prefer a straightforward hunt.
Orders have changed. You know that. There must be a reason they came all the way out here and stopped. What's here?
I'll run a background check on Thane and Kurlek. Might shake something loose.
Incoming communication.
Open a channel.
pilot of craft JN315. This is Cormac Reeve Corporate Security. You will submit to security scan.
This is Agent 39, Special Dispensation under Corporate Directive Designation Echidna. I am here on official business.
Please wait. I have special instructions for your ident. Please hold while I patch you through to Chairman Cormac.
We'd be honoured.
Welcome to Gonzalez's mine.
Is there a starport?
Yeah, but we can't use it.
Corpsec preparing a loving welcome for you?
Something like that.
So what do we do?
You see that range of peaks on the horizon?
Yeah.
There's an inactive volcano. You can just fly a ship down into it. It has a basic atmospheric seal, assuming my code still works.
Nice setup, is it yours?
Let's just say it's my inheritance.
Space, look at those.
What is it?
All those corporate barges in orbit. I've never seen so many in one place.
This whole system is corporation run. Cormac Reeve own everything, including half the people.
Including you.
Nobody owns me. How much did you like finding out you're someone's property? That was uncalled for. I'm sorry.
No, I deserved it. So, what's the penalty for runaway slaves?
There's only one penalty for anything in the corporate frontier. The only commodity that isn't expensive is people. Coming into land. Right, time to see if my code still works.
That isn't promising.
Give it a minute. See? I wasn't worried.
Oh, it's cold.
Get used to it. The whole planet's cold. The heating must be off. Looks like no one's been using it.
We'll need suits.
If memory serves, there's a locker somewhere. Should be a few inside. Shh. There's someone in here.
I don't hear anything.
Shh.
Gun! Cover!
Who is it? I've no idea.
Mr. Cormac, sir, I've got a priority 1 message coming in from Security Patrol.
Put it through.
Chairman Cormac, it's an honour.
The honour is ours. What brings such an illustrious representative as yourself all the way out here to the frontier?
We're tracking a group of fugitives. It's important we find them regardless of jurisdictional boundaries. I hope we can count on your help.
Whatever we can do for mutual profit, friend. Who are you looking for?
Our primary interest is in a young girl called May Havelock, a runaway we need to return to her educational establishment.
Never heard of her.
She's travelling with a freelance pilot named Thane and a tech bootlegger called Kurlek.
You're joking. Now those two I know. We're very interested in reacquainting ourselves with Mr. Thane. And as for Kurlek, his name is all over our records for patent violation. We'll bring them in for you ASAP.
Negative. Intercepting the girl is paramount, but she must remain at liberty. The same goes for her companions.
But these guys are on our most wanted.
Our organisation would be most grateful for your cooperation.
Fine. You'd better come and see me.
It would be a pleasure.
Zark?
Yes, Chairman?
Call off the security grab, but keep our surveillance team looking for Thane. Once they locate him, I want to know where he is at all times.
Very good, sir.
Stop shooting! For witch's sake, we don't even know why you're trying to kill us. At least take your finger off the trigger long enough to tell us that.
This is prime property, and you pirates are trespassing.
We're not pirates.
How did you get in here? The volcano's security sealed.
Yeah, and this is my landing berth. I used my code.
That's what I thought.
Because I always swore I'd kill you if you came back, Elias.
May, what are you doing? Get down.
Who's that? I'll shoot.
You won't. Because I'm not your enemy.
No, you're not.
At least give us a chance to explain.
Well, Elias, are you going to explain?
May, Kerlek, this is Andrew, my wife.
Nice to see this place is as picturesque as I remember. Tin shacks as far as the eye can see.
I'm sorry, you're married. This is your wife.
Ex-wife, thank you. I had him declared dead months ago.
You let me go a long time before that.
But the dancing girls and Camilla.
Hey, anything in a different galactic sector doesn't count.
What are you two whispering about?
It's always nice to catch up with family, isn't it?
So, this place is your home?
Yeah.
It's lovely.
No, it isn't. It's a junkie. Why do you think I left?
It's hard to believe people live like this, stuck inside metal boxes.
I grew up with it. You get used to it. Like space travel. Between you and me, I get a bit nervous going outside on Earth-like planets. It's ingrained.
Is that for terraforming, those vents?
They've been doing it for decades, so they tell us. That's why the corporation taxes us to the bone. I don't know. I think it's a little warmer than I remember. Andrew?
Don't talk to me, Elias.
It's still cold.
We'll be warm enough inside, though. Where are you taking us?
I can't risk taking you to the accommodation quarter. Not until I know how much trouble you're in. There's a bar I can trust.
Finally, someone is speaking my language.
What do you people want? Why did you come back?
Oh, we need to lie low for a while.
Ha! Trouble, eh? Why doesn't that surprise me when you're travelling with Thane?
Actually, it's my fault.
What?
What?
Thane helped me escape when I got into danger.
Well, Elias does love a hopeless cause, even when he's trying to be a hard ass. That's probably why I married him.
Elias Thane, indentured in 3246 for non-payment of debt to the corporation. Warrants issued for starship theft and flight from service in 3247. Also Anders Kerlek. Warrants issued in Aquada in 3244 for multiple counts of breaching technology patents. Rockforth would love us to bring him in. So tell me, what's so important that I have to let two enemies of the corporation roam free?
May has become an important asset. We need to use Thane and the other one to bring her in. After that, you can do as you please.
If we don't keep a hold on Thane, he'll get loose. A slave that gets free is always an embarrassing PR challenge, especially in keeping the other slaves in line. It gives them ideas.
Mr. Colmack, if you help us bring in the girl, my colleague can help you with Thane.
It would be a pleasure. For the right price.
Okay, deal. Did you find what you were looking for in the record?
Thane's a dead end. If we didn't already know he was stubborn before, your records confirm it. He won't give up the girl. I'd have to kill him to get to her.
So, his death could help us.
The girl may go underground. Kerlek is the weak link.
That thief?
Kerlek looks after number one. He fled his home when Rockforth put out the warrant. That's his price. We offer him amnesty for the girl. He'd be able to go home.
You what? No way. Rockforth will have our hides.
She's worth every credit, Colmack. When we're gone, whether you honour the deal with him or not is your affair.
Okay, I see where you're going with this. Sark, go with Dallas. Give him our official support.
Sir, I'm not sure I'm qualified. I have duties in the dockyards.
You've not proved your worth to me, Sark. If you can bring this in, I might just keep you on.
Sir.
Come on, Sark. Let's make Kerlek an offer he can't refuse.
In episode 3 of Escape Velocity, Christopher Jarvis played Thane, Amy Timms May, Alan Wales Kerlek, Liam Macaulay Dallas, and Katie Howells Risha. Jambers Warwick played Andre, Leeson Fisher, maintenance worker, Anthony Wilkes Colmack, and Sark was Janet Westwood Wilson, with Anne Collins as the matriarch. Additional parts were played by the cast. Escape Velocity was written and produced by Christopher Jarvis, with music by Alan Stroud, and is a Radio Theatre Workshop production for laveradio.com. Elite is copyright Frontier Developments. For more information, please visit escapevelocity.laveradio.com.
An extract from Children of Zeus by Christopher Jarvis. Part of the Elite Anthology collection of short stories, Tales from the Frontier. Produced and performed by the author. The sky outside the cockpit burned neon. Orange holographic HUD lines marked their sprint through the system as the frameshift drive took them on a fast transit to the fourth planet. Wason was glad to have the flight deck to himself. The lonely pleasure of spaceflight was his once more. Jarek had buggered off to his cabin to consider the possibilities. True, Dion was on the flight deck, but she offered little more company than the robot crewman who monitored the shield station. "He'll never appreciate the magnitude of what we've found," Wason muttered, as much to himself as to his second-in-command. To his surprise, Dion replied, "He's not paid to enjoy the scenery," she said. "His job is to estimate the value of resources in untapped systems and provide navigation data for recon mining and construction." "But that isn't why I came out here," Wason snapped. "We jump from system to system, witnessing incredible vistas never seen by human eyes, and that creep reduces it down to a bottom line on a report. I want to soak up the wonder of the galaxy." Dion gave him an unsympathetic smile. "Then do it on your own funds. This is what happens when you take on a corporate sponsor," she reminded him. Wason grunted. "Miles Jarek is more than a sponsor." "Oh?" Dion asked. "He's an arsehole." The Montoya's sword began a slow drift into the gravity field of the planet. Wason dropped the engines out of supercruise and allowed the Asp to fall into a fast natural orbit, with only a few course-correcting bursts of the manoeuvring thrusters. Soon, the planet's rolling blue mass lay below them. The scanners removed all lingering traces of doubt. Oxygen-nitrogen atmosphere, liquid saline oceans brushing against the shores of verdant clusters of archipelago. Contagion checks aside, this was a world any human might call a comfortable home. "Look at her," Wason exclaimed, unable to keep the awe from his voice. "She's perfect." Dion studied the scanner's readings. "The landmass is vastly outweighed by the oceans," she clipped. "For all we know, these islands get submerged every tidal cycle. We haven't yet measured airborne toxins or scanned for dangerous predators." Okay. We need more information on our beauty. Can you calculate an orbital trajectory to photo-capture the surface detail of this planet?" "Already working. But I think there's something you should see." Wason watched as Dion sent her terminal's output to his heads-up display. His heart froze as he studied the image. "What the hell is that?" That extract from Children of Zeus was produced by the RadioTheatreWorkshop.com for Fantastic Books Audio. If you've enjoyed this audio extract, please back our Kickstarter at tinyurl.com/fantastic audio.
The Lave Radio Project was our last best hope for news. A self-contained podcast 2 hours long, located in neutral territory. A place of nonsense and innuendo for forum dads, community members and developers. A shining beacon in space, all alone on a Tuesday night. It was the dawn of the 3rd chapter of Elite. The year's space legs came upon us all. This is the story of the last of the Lavian stations. The year is 3307. The name of the place? Lave Radio.
Greetings, Commanders, and welcome to episode 368 of Lave Radio, the show that likes to talk about the universe of Elite and the fantastic community that surrounds it. I'm your host, Commander Phoenix to Fire, otherwise known as Colin Ford. I'm the Chief Archivist upon Lave Station, and then joining me in the Orange Sidewinder Bar for this episode, we have our Chief Liaison Officer, Commander Psychit.
Hi.
Hello. We also have our Inhuman Resources Director, Commander Shan.
Hello.
And joining us for today's episode, we have our Chief Test Pilot and Chief Squeer, Commander Crash.
Greetings.
Greetings. Welcome to have you back. Now, if you wish, you can join us live. I do believe Commander Ventura is hanging around the Lave station itself.
That's Chris, but yeah, okay.
Oh, okay. Okay, the Chris
I'm not playing.
Okay, the Chris Mark IV is hanging around Lave Station, and if you can't get to us in game, you can find us. You can join us in the Twitch chat channel, which you can access through laveradio.com/live. Click on the live chat, or you can go to twitch.tv/laveradio, YouTube/Lave Radio, or on Facebook/Lave Radio. So let us go round the team, see how they've been for the last week or so. We'll start with Commander Shan. How have you been?
I've been pretty well, actually. Let me see. In game, I'm still mooching around the Galactic Core, so been doing some more Xeno gathering and avoiding any fleet carriers or anything because I'm doing it old school style. Out of game, let me see. I took advantage of the Black Friday sales and I purchased a brand new coffee machine for us, and it's rather cool actually because you can customize the coffee how you want it by using an app, and then you can just use the app to say I want a cappuccino with this much milk and this much coffee and this frothy and whatnot. So it's all app based. The other cool thing about it is it's got two coffee holders. So Mrs. Shan likes decaf, I like caffeinated, and you can just choose whichever coffee bin you want, and it actually makes gorgeous coffee. So I'm learning how to do mochachinos and all sorts of things with it. So that was good. Test subject Gamma was in trouble this week.
Oh, what's Hobbs done?
Well, it's not really what he's done. It's kind of like I'm not sure whether my general talent for mischief has rubbed off on him, or he is a particular evil genius cat. What he did was because we shoot him away from food because we don't want him eating our food and stealing it off plates and things like that. But so Mrs. Shan was in our living room eating sort of her dinner, which had sausages and bacon and other stuff in it because she's getting keto. And so she shooed the cat away from it and said, "Get away, Hobbs! Not for you." And so then Hobbs looked at it, and then all of a sudden, laid down, and his breathing slowed down, and he wasn't asleep. He didn't look asleep. He looked dead.
Oh, lovely.
So Mrs. Shan was quite concerned about this dead-looking cat. It's suddenly just keeled over and not breathing. So she rushed into the kitchen to find the vet's phone number, only to come back. There'd been a miraculous improvement, and Hobbs was sitting on her chair eating her dinner that she'd left away. So the cat had played dead to the point of when Mrs. Shan went away, so he could eat her dinner.
I'm so proud of it already. It's amazing.
I think that is definitely you can tell it's your cat, Shan. I certainly think. I also think you reaped what you sow.
Well, I wasn't sure whether to kind of admonish you or admire it, really, because it's such a genius thing to do to play possum until they left. But yeah, so we have to watch out. I think it's and by the way, if people are thinking Hobbs is not the winking cat, okay, that's not the sort of thing I would expect the winking cat to do.
What, play dead?
Yeah, to plan a heist of that magnitude.
Yeah, it is a bit worrying. Psychit, have you got any cat-related shenanigans to match that?
No cat-related shenanigans. None at all. They're good cats, but I mean the only thing that one of my cats does is, like, at 4:00 in the morning when she decides that she wants a cuddle, she just starts chewing on my hair right at, like, the front of my hairline, and just starts chewing until I wake up, and then she has cuddles. That's normally any time between sort of 2:30 and 5:00 in the morning. Those are prime cuddle moments for Claude. But that's probably the biggest shenanigans. When Pete was a kitten, he threw himself into fajitas. If that's something else, like, cats like people food. They really like people food.
So you remind me, Psychic. Sorry. The eldest Mini Shan's girlfriend, who is applying to go up on Bake Off this year or a year. So she came round on Saturday and made these amazing cupcakes to give out and stuff. So she went in the room to distribute these cupcakes, leaving the spares covered in tinfoil and what she thought was protected in the kitchen. Hobbs then found them, managed to remove the top of the tin, and actually ate a complete cupcake.
I am beginning to wonder: is your cat evolving opposable thumbs?
I don't know. I do kind of worry, but based on what Psychic said, we don't have that problem because we have a cat containment room. We store it in the night time.
Because you do realise that as soon as it can work out a can opener, that's it. You're done.
Well,
yeah.
We'll see.
Moving on. Back to you, Psychic.
Yeah, I'd love to be able to put our cats in a cat containment room, but they'd rip up the carpet in an attempt to get out, because we've tried that before and it was that successful. We have I've not really done much. I just played a lot of computer games. Like more dinosaurs in space, really. I booked Spider-Man tickets. That happened this week. We have tickets to see Spider-Man on a Friday, the new Spider-Man film that's coming out.
Yes. Gotcha.
But yeah, it's been a quiet week, really, for me. In game, I've done lots of BGS stuff. I completely fitted and outfitted a courier and bought Stygian blue for it because it looks really nice with the lights on the courier, and it's really lovely.
A courier? Is that like a spicier version of a courier?
Are you complaining about the way that I speak, Shan? Are you really going to go there?
I'm being neutral here because we picked Colin up when he failed to pronounce words correctly. So it's only fair when you do it.
That's an accent intonation. It can be courier as opposed to. You know what? I'm good. It's fine.
Yeah, and go to your happy place. And while you're doing that, we'll go and ask how Crash is doing.
Exhausted. I'm absolutely exhausted. I'm complete opposite of Psychic. I think I've just been so damn busy that I've got a list of things that I've been doing. I mean, in game wise, I finally G5 modded all of my favorite things. So all of my suits and weapons are got all of the toys, and yeah, quite fun. Does make a considerable difference fighting people. Apologies to Ben and Miggles the other week when we got in the conflict zone and ended up on the wrong sides. See, love you guys.
Oops.
Entirely accidental. But yeah, it's great fun with that now. I'm working on upgrading some of the other toys, playing around with the Executioner, seeing how different that is to use that one, and just toying around with some of the other different options. It's kind of frustrating. I wish there was a try before you buy option for some of the things. 'Cause it takes so long to get the suits and the mods the way that you want them, and then after you've applied some of them, you're like, did I really want that one? But anyway, streaming wise, well, unfortunately I didn't make the stream last week because I felt a bit ill. The week before that, my son, I had to cut it off midway through because he had snuck into the kitchen, ate an entire pack of Oreos, and painted his bedroom with it.
Ooh, lovely.
So I had to cut the stream off to clean that up. Yay! This weekend, literally I've got to give a shout out. I went to see the real Chief Beef. It was his wedding on Sunday. Bless them. So congratulations to them both. For those you don't know, he was one of the folks that was picked to help it with Planko, and he was actually the mascot. He was Chief Beef at some of the events, and we've stayed in touch ever since. Lovely chat. So congratulations to them both. What else have I been doing? I've been 3D printing all the things, as I mentioned at the start. I've got both of my printers up and running now. So yeah, I've been getting back into that. I've been toying around with the idea of trying to 3D print a Tormentor because goddamn, I love that little sidearm. It's my favorite little gun. So I'd love to do that. What else did I do? I went to see the new Ghostbusters. Absolutely fantastic. Would highly recommend it to anyone. Really, really good film. Just crazy busy. Just it's that time of year.
I can understand that. Let's see, what have I been up to this week? Well, I've been doing a massive amount of Elite, mostly involved kicking the NMLA's bottom from all around my hood, and also doing a lot of exploring. We'll probably come across some of the other things I've been up to later. Apart from that, it's just been a case of getting things ready just to finish off this bloomin' study DIY update. So, almost there. Let's just get it out of the way.
How's that going? Are you pleased with the results, or any?
How shall I put this? Mrs. Collin is pleased with the results.
Oh, good. So there's no shells that have fallen off, and if I was to go along with the spirit level, it would all be level, and the bubble would be in the middle, and everything.
I have set up proper shelves that line up with existing shelves, and it's all color coded, and yay.
What color are they? Are they white, brown, or
black and white? So it kind of looks like a checkerboard at the moment. A chess. It does. It looks like a 3D chess set, actually, now that I'm looking around. Oh, dear. Anyway, so moving on from what we're up to. For those of you who are wondering, Ben, Commander Edle Pies, I'm going to get my own back after last week.
Ate the pies. Commander ate the pies.
Edle Vice. No, ate the pies. Who ate all the pies? Yes, he's not with us today as he's being family person up north. Apparently, he's got his own DIY jobs to sort out. And he got angry with me in the forums, telling me that I got his name wrong again. Me get his name wrong? Really?
The thing is, though, with no Ben, that means this is a malarkey-free zone again.
I don't know. Psychic has the reputation to occasionally. I was going to say, slip into Ben's position.
Double entendre. Are you talking about double entendre there?
It could
Sorry,
be.
Shan, am I pronouncing that correctly for you, sir?
That's acceptable.
Okay, I'll make sure that I continue to talk this way for you. What, Pip, Pip?
You sound like Mrs. Slocum.
I know, I'm working on it really nicely. It's great. Sometimes I do accents, but very rarely.
Well, Side does have a pussy, so you know.
I've got two. And I've got a dog as well. Wow. Holy shit! Calm down, man.
Oh dear. And we're off, ladies and gentlemen. Right, let's go and have a divert everybody's attention with some development news. Well, they had Zach and Bruce on the stream today, and there has some Super Cruise news, which the headline can only be said, Update 9 is out next week. Now, I think I got that one. Because everybody else was saying the 15th.
No, I thought it was the 9th week. I thought it was the 8th or 9th. I can't remember. But
Well, it's still next week, though. So, yeah, they haven't actually given us an exact day because they're still testing, but they are aiming for next week. So, yay! And although they didn't actually show any footage of the new SRV, because apparently that will be coming later in the week, probably Thursday or Friday. They did have a couple of devs on the stream. One talking about the Limbit controller, and the other one talking about the new mission givers. So let's start with the new Limbit controller. First of all, it's not a replacement for existing Limbit controllers, but it's kind of a combination Limbit controller. They've gone for a kind of role-based, so if you were some kind of they've given it kind of categories like a Xeno Limbit controller, rescue, mining, operative, and universal, and each one of these will hold a different set of limpets that you can set off. Let's go around the room. Do you think this one is? Have they got it right? So we start with Shan.
Looking at the chart that's going to be in the show notes, I think they've got it pretty right because the matching of like the mining and the repair and things like that, they do kind of fit. Although I wasn't quite sure how a hat breaker fitted in with the repair section, but I missed the stream, and I know you were on it, Colin. They mentioned about module sizes having a meaning or a function. Did they expand on that more? Because that's the bit I missed and didn't quite get. Oh, I think Colin's gone.
I think he has, yeah.
It's not just me then.
Yeah, that was quiet.
So did anyone else watch it? Probably.
I was streaming, so I didn't catch a lot of it.
Yeah, unfortunately, they always seem to do it at an awkward time of day when I'm either like working, cooking, cleaning, or something. I'm doing something and I'm not able to watch it. But I was about to ask the same thing. Was when we look at the Universal, you can see that we've got all of the programmable types which are there. My question is, what is the con there? I mean, obviously that seems like the perfect choice.
Efficiency.
Yeah,
that's what I asked when I had multiple people reporting back to me what was going on. And what's the con? Why would you not have something like this for everything? And it's efficiency. Apparently, that's as much as I know. And I think isn't the Universal only like the largest size that you can get?
Yeah, that's size 7. But again, would you really want to use a size 7 slot for a module for a limpet thing that can do everything? Because if you're mining, you want to maximize cargo space, etc., etc. You wouldn't want the size 7.
Potentially, maybe with a Anaconda. Will an Anaconda fit a size? I don't fly Anacondas very often. Would an Anaconda fit a size 7?
It would fit. But what I'm saying is you'd want the cargo. You're sacrificing a lot of cargo space for it. 128 tons, if I remember correctly.
Or a 7A fuel scoop.
Again, I'm not sure I'd be having that big a fuel scoop on a ship that was mining. But anyway.
Oh no, I wasn't talking about mining. Just like in general. For an Anaconda, like maybe that would be really good, but you'd be missing out on the fuel scoop for it if you're putting it in the size 7 slot. I don't know where it would be applicable.
Well, the Chris Mark IV has said you can only equip one multi-use controller, so you can't have all of them in slot 3s, you have to choose what the one.
Yeah.
So, do we have a news from Colin, by the way, or are we carrying on?
His PC's just crashed. He'll be with us in a moment, I would imagine.
Just keep going.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
It's contagious. Literally, as I was talking, my PC blue screened.
Oh my god!
But yeah, I missed what you said.
It's all going to shit.
We're going wrong. It's spreading. But no, so you're saying the size 7 is the efficiency. I think we were just heard the end of that. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
yeah.
with everything, when there's a multitude of things that it can do, you're sacrificing the efficiency.
Yeah, I think that's a good compromise. I like the way they've done that there actually, and being able to have a universal one, I think, is great. But then also being able to have a multi-role one, that I could think of lots of different things I want to do with my ships to tweak and tune them. So I'm looking forward to that. Looks good.
So, do we know what they mean by efficiency? Does that mean, for example, you lose range if you use the multi-limpet controller? Do you lose numbers of max numbers of limpets or something? Do we know what efficiency is?
I don't. That was the only full confirmation I had, was that it wasn't a downgrade to the efficiency of the item. So whether they've been a little bit more candid about that for now.
I'd guess it would be a combination of those stats. I mean, that is the two key things with any other the limpet controllers, is the operational range and the number of active limpets, the length of time that they can stay active, and that kind of thing. So I'd guess you'd lose a lot of those stats to make them fair. I mean, you have to find some balance in there, because that is the other worry. As great as this is from my perspective, I love the fact that I can tweak and tune and customize my ship. It does, a bit like the engineering stuff, it kind of erodes away the specialization of certain ships, doesn't it? Because if you can make one ship that does everything, why use other ones? Yeah,
true. You have a good point. I'm quite excited about the mining one. The mining one, like having one which a controller that will prospect, and then I will be able to have collector limpets out as well with it. Feels like it would be more efficient.
Absolutely.
There's one limpet here that I'm not aware of. Recon. Is that the same as research? Because research on the Xeno one, they've got decontamination, understandable. Repair, understandable. Research, understandable. But where in the game at the moment is the recon limpet?
It's the hackable data points, isn't it?
Did they not miss out a T in that?
Retcon.
Really?
Oh dear.
I was literally about to say, who are you calling a retcon? And then I stopped myself.
That was my first thought.
I was like, what the?
Yeah. So I take it the universal one, that's going to be the biggest one we can get.
It is, yeah.
Yeah. And all the others are going to be class 3.
That's kind of a shame that that's size 7, because I would have loved a size 1 or something, so I could squeeze it in my Sidewinder.
A size 7 slot is, if I'm remembering it right, is 128 tons. So are we really saying that the combined weight of all that equipment is 128 tons?
Never underestimate how much programming that you have to do.
It's all printed out first. It's on paper. It's fed back through.
Punch cards.
It's like 7 different 3D printers printing those limpets to do exactly the right thing. Exactly. That's what the Switch is.
Oh man.
Sorry, 8.
So it sort of reminds me of like the computers in Star Trek, or even the ones in real life from the 1940s. You know, it is that sort of like big computer, isn't it?
Yeah, you just need to watch the Imitation Game, and you see what Turing came up with, and you just looked at it and went, "Oh, and that's what 128 bytes, is it?"
As an aside, it actually requires quite a lot of computing power even today to break Enigma in the same way Turing did, or to brute force it. Sorry, to brute force it takes a lot of computing power.
Yeah, that's something interesting. Right, so I think everybody is in favour of the multi-Limbic controller. One thing that did surprise me, though, it's coming to Horizons as well.
Is it really? I'm so impressed.
Yeah, apparently, well, all the way through, there was a lot of people nagging all the way through the stream. They were saying, is it coming for Odyssey or Odyssey and Horizons? Because they weren't answering, they were getting more and more sniffy about it. And then Zach at the very end said, oh, before I forget, it's coming to both Horizons and Odyssey this, which shut a lot of people up.
Zach is such a troll. I love him so much.
Yeah, it's just sort of, it would have been nice if they said that at the beginning of the piece so that we didn't have all the whinges going through on the thing, but never mind. Anyway, so the dev that they had on there explained a lot of the functionality, and it was nice to see a dev on. I can't remember who it was though. I'm so embarrassed. I forgot to put it into the notes. However, we did have a second dev on the stream, good old Dominic, and he was there talking about the new mission givers at settlements. Now, this does intrigue me because these mission givers, they're going to be walking around the settlements and they could get killed.
The mission givers get killed?
Yeah.
So if you kill one and someone else comes along, is the mission giver gone?
Apparently, they say yes, that is a possibility, and also the they say they've got contingencies, but that mission giver, if say for instance you take a mission from someone at a settlement, you go off and do the mission, and meanwhile, Mr. Shooty McShooty Face turns up and wipes out the settlement. You come back and there'll be nobody there.
That sounds great. That sounds just like I used to do in Skyrim, or even The Sims. You just go along and kill the NPCs.
Crash?
I'm going to apologize in advance for anyone looking for mission givers. It's totally not my fault. I just needed the materials.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I'm really bad at driving my SRV. I couldn't help but run over it.
Beep, beep.
Yeah, apparently, you know how people walk around this, NPCs walk around the settlements. These mission givers won't be in the same place, in the same part of the settlement like there is in the social area on the space stations. They will be genuinely walking about. So after you've completed your mission, you've still got to run around the entire base to find them. I think that's... Go on, Crash.
I was going to say, I can see that could be kind of annoying, but yeah, I suppose you could just go up to one of the comms panels, couldn't you, and find the staff list to find them. So
yeah, I mean, once you find them on the comms panel, a little direction finder appears on your HUD, and you'll be able to follow it to them. I wonder if this time they've actually fixed the mouth animation so that when they speak to you, their mouth moves.
I had noticed that. Yeah, a little bit off-putting.
Yeah, I mean, I still think it's great, and I do like actually going and communicating with other people. Well, NPCs rather. It just feels a little bit better than just picking up a package.
Yeah, it does make the world feel a bit more lived in and more active and interactive as well. I just hope there's... I mean, did they mention anything there about like additional mission types and things, or is it the same mission types, just slightly different quest givers?
Well, it's just different quest givers, but they didn't actually say anything more about mission types. And that's one thing that does worry me, because we know that these missions need a bit more variety. They also need a bit more space in them, if you see what I mean.
Yeah, I'd definitely like to see a few more kind of like branching options in them and things like that, because once you've done a few of them, it's like they're great the first few times, but yeah, they do get quite stale quite quickly. So nice to see some more options.
Yeah. Is this appealing to you, Psychic, or will you just wait until Mal does a mission and then run?
No. I was talking about it earlier today, actually. That because I did a lot of like fetch quest missions where you go and you find a lad in in a base, and they're always just sort of like sitting there or standing there unmoving, waiting for you to appear. And I made a passing comment that it would be nice, because you have to go to the terminal and find out where the hell they are anyway. It would be nice to have another opportunity to see them walking around, and obviously see their lips move would be great as well. It would be a really nice added bonus to actually have them feel like a part of the settlement. There's definitely something missing from like, settlements are great and everything, and they look great, and they're a lovely set piece, but for me, they miss that living and breathing section. And I'd like to see more things that that bring the settlements to life a little bit more, rather than just people walking around that you can zap up the arse and then have done your assassination all covert like.
Yeah.
So are we going back to the I used to be a spaceman, but then I took a laser to the knee sort of thing?
I mean, like, hearing people having conversations is great when you hear it in the concourses. That's I really think that's a cool addition, especially because they tend to talk about what is going on in the BGS at the moment, and sort of going, oh, there's a drought here, public holiday, or there's a war on, things like that. And I really like that, but there doesn't seem to be a lot more of that in the settlements, and they feel really a little bit lax and barren to me. I'm seeing more people walk around, or have more people that you can interact with, rather than just a salute, but we're 5 years down the line and we now have salutes. It feels more, I just want to see like more breath and more life within those stations.
Yeah, I can see that, although you are in danger if it's too repetitive of it becoming like Free Guy, where they walk past and everyone says the same thing every time you walk past them or something. So I guess it's effort versus reward, I suppose, with that. Right.
Yeah. Mind you, I'd be waving at everybody, and occasionally an NPC waves back, which I thought was quite nice.
It's a shame you can't make a rude sign at them and then they either shoot at you or return the favour or something.
All right, so you're basically wanting to flip people the bird. You're wanting a flip the bird emoji already, are you?
Oh, why not? Surely it's the first thing people will try.
Yeah, that's says a lot about human nature right there. So yeah, that seems to be coming in for update 9. And on top of that, we have the SRV. Now, they're being very cagey about the SRV. I think they're wanting to show off as being the next big thing. Do you think that was a good idea, or do you think they should have hyped it up a little bit more?
I think they're keeping it in reserve. I think they're keeping a lid on it as it simmers until the time comes.
Yeah. I mean, I expect that we'll probably see more about this at a later point, because we've had a look at the schedule, the social schedule for this week, and they're doing a yearly review on Friday. Apparently, this we've got. The development reviews that we normally have at the end of the month. They're having a yearly review on what the CM team will be up to next year. Now, it doesn't actually go into any details about what will be coming next year. I mean, obviously, there'll be the walking around the fleet carriers, and maybe that'll be it. Shan?
I'm intrigued to what will be in it, because I think there's content in that we would want to see, or a lot of the players would want to hear, and then there's content in it that maybe won't be in it, if you see what I mean. So I'm very curious to see what the official Frontier take on the past year is, I think.
Yeah, I mean, that is going to be quite interesting to compare. Psychic.
I think it's important to note, though, that this is going to be the end of the year community update, as opposed to this is everything that we're developing going forwards. I think we're more likely to see maybe some changes, potentially some changes or some new additions to the community team. Or like people being moved around, some people maybe not being quite as involved in Elite anymore, and maybe other people coming more into it. And also talking about what they've done as the community managers rather than what they've done as far as Elite is concerned. And I know that the two things are interlinked, but I don't think if you're expecting it to be this is a dev review of the year, I don't think we're going to get that.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, they did say that they were doing things a little bit differently this month because it is the this close to Christmas. So I do know that I think everybody they'll be locking down the development process and putting in change freezes and things like that at the moment, as they normally do. Well, and then we probably won't hear anything from anything new about new tools or stuff till mid-January, I'm afraid. Because I'm afraid they say that's normally the way these things happen over Christmas. I mean, there was one... Oh, go on, Shan.
No, I was going to ask. So, will it be the community managers' view of the year, or will they have articles from developers, senior developers, the sound guys, the graphics guys, etc.?
I think it's just going to be the CM team, and then on top of that, they might touch on the continuing story, because that seems to be I know it's something that I think Arf feels he's got control over. I'm just purely speculating here, although I must admit, after last week's episode, I had to publicly apologize on the forums.
Why? Before?
What happened last week? I don't know what you're talking about.
What I can only describe as the Arf thirst.
No, I mean, no.
Anyway, we shall move on from that.
Sorry, is that the comment that was related to Arf's physical stature?
It was Ben. It was all Ben. Ben did all of it.
It was all Ben. So you said yourself you wanted no malarkey this week, Shan. So don't push us in the direction of malarkey.
I wasn't. You started it.
No, I was just saying that I had to apologise for it. Last week's malarkey. Anyway, the other thing that they did mention was that the stunt competition, they're pretty close to actually doing the stunt competition video. Zach and Bruce. I'm going to love to see what they're going to do with this. I mean, I don't know whether they're going to do, silly Wipeout style commentary or things like that, as people tumble and do fantastic acrobatics in an SRV. So I think we will move on to the in-game events. So what has been happening this week? Well, on the 25th of November, Gatekeeper megaships have been established. Now, I must have missed this because I've normally got most of the permits that I need. But what are Gatekeeper megaships?
Pass. I can make a guess, but I don't know. I mean, presumably, are they part of the Colonia Bridge?
No,
they're not. I think they help commanders get permits to lock systems.
So is this from before? So with the Hereford's Cash stuff, we visited a beacon. Very late on, you visit a beacon, and that gives you automatically a system permit. Is this? This must have escaped me. I must not have noticed this one, but is this tantamount to that kind of mechanic? So you just go somewhere, be in the vicinity of this megaship, and then suddenly you've got the permit, rather than bending over backwards for some of the things to get. Like friendly with Serious XYZ, all of those.
Yeah,
things.
you used to have to become friendly. Let's say if you wanted access to Alioth, you would have to run missions for Alioth independence until you basically were an ally. And then on top of that, you'd have to wait for a mission to spawn where the reward was the Alioth permit. It was an awful grind. It really was. And it seems, according to this, factions responsible for the distribution of conditional access permits have deployed so-called gatekeeper megaships to neighboring systems. So I'm assuming that you go to this place and get the permit?
Unless there's a system that has had all of its factions other than its home station has gone into retreat, and it's one of these ones that you need a permit for, and this is just a fail-safe that there will be megaships out there that you can still get these get missions from, get things on, to do all of the stuff that you need to do in order to still get friendly with that faction, and they're sort of like permanent residences.
Ah, right, gotcha.
That's a possibility. I don't know for certain, obviously, but that could kind of explain them from like a gameplay mechanic, other than story based, because that feels like something that is having to be shoehorned in just so people can still get access to these systems.
Yeah, Shan?
I'm not sure about that mechanic, if it is correct, about the gateway ships, because one of the things the existing getting a permit system taught was about the BGS. You kind of had to learn about the BGS a bit to get your permit. And if you make that skippable, will that make the BGS less attractive to people? I don't know.
I don't know that it's necessarily making them skippable, rather than it's just negating there being a situation wherein you won't be able to gain access to the system in question, because the ownership of the megaships remains a constant.
Ah, right. Jonathan, tea time in the and Commander Miggles, they've both said that they're really there to prevent a faction who would normally be able to give permits via missions from getting erased via the BGS. The megaships are immune to the BGS wiping them out. So that means that Alioth independence will always be in the appropriate system they need to be in order for you to get that permit. Well, yeah. I did think that was a flaw. Go on, Sean.
No, so that does make sense, because there are a number of permits you can no longer get in game because the factions got
hammered. Yeah.
Yeah, so it kind of does make sense, but then I like the fact that the permits you couldn't get in game anymore, because it gives a sense of consequence.
Yeah, but then it restricts. It can restrict people from accessing engineers, because I know there's an engineer in Alioth, and that's one of the reasons why people go there.
And one in Sirius as well.
Yeah,
but that's part of the engineer. That's part of the engineering process, isn't it? You have to unlock and get the Alioth permit. I mean,
but if you couldn't get the Alioth permit from a faction that was close enough to Alioth to offer you that thing, because that faction had been retreated from the system, there would be no way of you say just Alioth was on it. Alioth independents were on their own in Alioth. You would have no way, as someone without a Alioth permit, to interfere with the BGS to help them expand. There's no. You would just be, as like a new player wanting access to Alioth, you would be not able to access that. And that would just be something that you would have to live with. This is giving players that opportunity to be able to gain access to those places with a constant outside of the system that they need to gain access to.
I can see how it works out, I guess.
Well, thanks to everybody in the chat room for clearing that up, because I must admit this one completely passed me by. The next one was the Far God megaship. Surprise, surprise, has been hijacked by Theta 7 and redirected to the Mudhurrid system. Am I pronouncing that right? Mudhurrid?
I just pronounce it Madrid because it's funny.
Madrid. Yeah, I suppose. So yes, obviously Theta 7 redirected his megaship there, and of course once that megaship arrived, that meant there were 2 NMLA megaships in Madrid or Madrid, whichever, and that has now gone and triggered a combat community goal. And at this moment in time, I do believe the NMLA are getting hammered 2-1. In fact, I'd be surprised if it hasn't finished by now.
It's finished.
It's finished, and victory to the Empire, I do believe, because they were almost there yesterday. Which
yeah,
is
it is.
unique, because this is the first time you got no material reward for fighting for the Empire. But if the NMLA had won, you would have got corrosive missile racks. So that's the first time the community said, now we don't want a fancy new thing for our ships. We just want to kick the NMLA. How does that sound, Shan? I mean, does that sound like they've gone and spoiled something?
No, I don't think so.
No. You expected that to happen? Oh, go on, Crash.
It makes a refreshing change for the people to not be selfish and go after the the toys.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing that surprised me. As soon as I saw that Denton Petraeus wasn't offering anything but basically money, but the NMLA were offering missile racks, I thought, oh, that means the NMLA might actually win this one. But it turns out that I think the community have decided that the NMLA need wiping out, which was quite nice. On the 25th of November, the Dredger clan has now been freed by Orion University. They have Orion University have allowed the Dredger to move on, but they are going to honour its outcome, withdraw its claim over the Dredger, and everybody can collect their rewards from the appropriate places in HIP 43670. Moving on from there, we've got the Colonia Bridge project is to be extended to 3308. Now, I actually came across one of these Colonia megaships the other day, as I was there's one in the Eagles Nebula, and it's the first time I've been able to walk around one of these things. Is it supposed to have everything, all facilities there, or is it supposed to be just a couple of things missing? Crash.
I think they're limited in functionality, though. But I was going to say, I mean, are they actually marked? Because you said you stumbled across it, but are they searchable? Can you find them?
Well, I only knew it was there because when I dropped into, I think it was Eagle's Nest. I think that it appeared on the HUD.
Right, on the nav panel.
Yeah, but I couldn't see anywhere in the galaxy map where it said that there was a one of these megaships.
That's kind of my concern since the start of the project. I think it's a great idea for people who are kind of intimidated by the idea of going back and forth to Colonia. So definitely for newer players, it'd be a really, really good thing to have it in there. But if they are so obscure and difficult to find that you have to search the forum or some other external tool to find the locations of them, they're next to useless if they're unfindable.
Yeah. Well, there's now approximately 56 of these megaships spreading all the way to between Colonia. I mean, I'm at number 20. I think it's number 20 that is out at the Eagle Nebula. So I'm going to go a different way because I know every other system between these megaships are now going to be explored and basically nitpicked to death. So I'm going to have to go a different, longer route in order to get my name on more planets. So
can you search for them? Can you like in game? Because aren't they all called like CB and then that hyphen and then the number or something? So can you actually search for them like that in game?
I don't know. I mean, I will actually check because, well, I
Do they
can't
have
check.
Do they have a population?
They don't seem to. Yeah, they don't seem to, because when I checked the system map before the megaship went in, it was still a population of 10,000. So that number hasn't gone up. So unless everybody is just putting it in ED Discovery and just logging them.
Well, that's the answer, isn't it? You just
Yeah.
wait. You just wait and look it up.
Wait, look it up, and either Canon or one of the third-party sites will have a list before you know it. So, yes, the next step, the next phase is scheduled to commence on the 6th of January 3308, and this will add starports to key locations along the routes. Not megaships, actual starports. And it will allow people to also address the availability of tritium. So, yes, Colonial Bridge project to be continued next year. After that, the fallout from the previous week's CG is Admiral Aina Tana is now facing criminal charges because of the the recent events in the T-Tari system. I don't know. I think it does feel like Aegis has now just gone the way of the dodo. Anybody else?
Yeah, they're buggered.
I think there'll be a merger. I think there'll be an acquisition or a merger.
Yeah, I mean, they're even saying that there are talks that from a lot of the powers to actually contact Salvation to try and enlist his help. And the Federation is saying perhaps we should take our ring-fenced Aegis money and send it and give it to him instead. And it'll be so ironic if basically it's proven in the end that Aegis was right all along. So, yes, if found guilty, he will be dishonorably discharged and then imprisoned for life, which is yay. And of course, finally, the Thargoid invasion of nebula systems has intensified. Now, we're going to touch on this later, but it does seem that systems in the California, the Coalsack, the Pleiades, and the Witchhead Nebula are now under sustained assault by the Thargoids. And I must admit, I'm afraid to say the Anti-Xeno initiative, as hard as they are trying, they're having difficulties removing those infestations, if you like to call it. So yeah, that's our battle of the our in-game events for this week. Right, I think it's that time of the week.
Store alert!
And the reason that we've used the opera one again is because this week we've actually got store alerts, which I think deserves them. Because we didn't get one, we got two. Obviously, the first one was the much anticipated midnight black paint jobs have returned for Black Friday. And I know this is the first time that I bought ARCs in about a year. So just so that I could get some paint jobs for my Imperial ships. And that was followed up by the Stygian paint jobs, which turned up on Monday, which are the wonderfully metallic reds and brasses and greens. Like I said, I managed to. I gave in and bought some. Anybody else?
No, I considered the midnight skins, but the shop said I kind of had them all. So I was struggling to look for things I actually wanted, but then I sort of thought, well, I need to save the money for the special effect event on a week Friday.
Yes. Did you give in, Psychic?
Hell yes. Oh yes, I did. Of course I did. I got the black skin for a couple of ships. And then I bought the Stygian blue, as I said earlier, because it goes really nicely with the Courier's blue lights. It looks very pretty. So I did that. I did that today. And I've got Stygian purple on so many of my other ships already. So it's a beautiful, beautiful skin. They're gorgeous paint packs.
They are. I mean, I love the red ones. I mean, I've got quite a lot of the purple ones, but I do love the red ones as well. And I'm not really a fan of the blue or the green for some reason, but yeah. So these will be disappearing, and they'll be available until December the 3rd, and then after that they'll probably disappear for another year. So yeah.
Then it's chrome. Come on, and then it'll be Santa hats.
You basically want Santa bobbleheads.
That's the year. That's the rest of the year sorted.
Is that why you're not buying any more? You're saving the arcs you just bought just for a Santa bobble hat.
No, I bought something else today, and I can't remember what it is. I'm gonna have to buy more arcs. It's bad.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, Crash, were you tempted, or have you got?
Yeah, that was kind of the problem. Actually, I was looking at the midnight black ones. I was scrolling through. It's like, you own this, you own this, you own this. Ah, but yeah, the only other one that I really like the look of was the Stygian red to go on Bessie, and I own that too. So, oops.
Yeah, they're just not giving enough. They're not making enough available for us. That's the thing. But yeah, they are absolutely gorgeous. The Stygian ones. Although I must admit, I think I've got the iridescent gleam on a couple of my ships, and I haven't seen that around for a while. Okay, so I think what we'll do. We'll just point out from the Opera Mix. I have heard back from Jay and Trax, and he is very pleased, and his missus is very pleased by the reaction that everybody had towards the Opera Store alert. So apparently she was a little worried that she hadn't got the essence of the piece right, but you do get the feeling that she's a bit of a perfectionist.
I'm like, no, that was brilliant. I really like that version.
Yes. Went down quite well in the forums as well. Right. I think we will take a short break and we'll come back with our main discussion.
Want to tour the frontier? Travel with Colmac Reeve and our new fleet of passenger starliners. We've opened up the universe for a range of budgets. Option 1, luxury.
My husband and I like to travel in comfort. The new luxury cabins were like a home away from home. After all, one's home is a castle.
Option 2, first class.
We'd saved up a bit for a really special trip. The first class cabins were like nothing we've travelled in before. Really luxurious.
Option 3, travel cabin.
We won a trip with Cormac Reeve's monthly lotto. A travel cabin for two on a starliner around the solar system. Once in a lifetime for us. Simply amazing.
Option 4, basic accommodation.
Me and my mates just wanted to hitch around the universe. It's so great that we have the option of getting a really cheap cabin to see the sights. It saved us loads.
And for the budget conscious and slaves, we have our cheapest option yet.
Well, I needed a...
And we won't sell any of those frozen passengers into slavery, I promise. Colmac Reeve's all-budget tours, seeing the galaxy from luxury to freezing tubes.
Do you suffer from problems with incontinence? If you do, then our pee-pads are for you! Yes, Commander, your very own pee-pad while you're out there exploring in the universe. Then you can go whenever you feel the need. No need for a toilet pesking back there and then having to wonder, how do they deal with the poop? No, you just go in the pad and discard it at your local station. Let them worry about the physics of disposing of sewage in space. That's not your problem, Commander.
This is a public service announcement from the Fuel Rats. Please stop what you're doing and pay attention. If we can rescue you, we will, but you can help us help you by following these easy steps. 1. Fly 50 light seconds or so from the system's main star and drop out of supercruise. 2. Note down the current system and the nearest stellar body. 3. If you're on emergency life support, log out immediately. 4. Go to fuelrats.org and click Get Help. 5. Stay calm, hold your breath, and let our seasoned professionals do what they do best. The Fuel Rats. We have fuel, you don't. Any questions?
Welcome back. And as a side note, as mentioned by the Fuel Rats just there, we have to congratulate Commander Edelweiss for managing to get his tail. He is now an official Fuel Rat. So, big round of applause to Ben there. Yes, so you will be rescued, but also, do they have an innuendo limpet?
In whose endo?
Hey!
There we go. Anyway, now Shan, you wanted to go and bring this subject up. Do you want to take it?
Yeah, well, I was thinking about a main topic to have this week, and I sort of hit on the subject of whatever happened to, and I was thinking of, we try and remember player initiatives we wish it happened. So these are ones that either were planned and didn't happen, or we wish someone had come up with the idea but it never came off. Which of the player initiatives deserve a sequel? And which ones do we wish had never happened in the first place?
Well, okay. You got an example that burns in your mind?
Yeah, I mean, the one I wish had actually happened, and this goes way back before, even before beta, in that there was a group of players who'd got together who wanted to mount a long-term expedition to the center of the galaxy, to the galactic core, and they were under the impression that getting there would be horrendously difficult. It would be like a real epic journey, like going to Beagle Point used to be. And they'd gathered like 150 odd commanders together to try and get to the galactic core and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then, of course, as soon as the galaxy opened up, Commander Romero got there in about 3 days. So it kind of blew that idea out of the water. But the idea of having that kind of really early pioneering, make it really difficult, hard to get there to the core, I wish that had come off, because I thought that sounded amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I was there. The genesis of that idea happened at Fantasticon that year, and everybody was really looking forward. You could tell that everybody was making plans and doing a lot of thought about, what would need to do to support each other and things like that. And I must admit, when I heard that someone had managed to get to the Galactic Center Core after 3 days, I just felt so sorry for everybody who was involved in it, because it just the amount of the sense of anticipation that people had just went.
I mean, no, not taking away anything from Commander Romero, because you could only plot 100 light years at the time. So plotting 26,000 light years, 100 light years at a time, is a serious feat. So it's taking nothing away from that achievement. It's just, I think I was looking forward to the whole community bit doing it.
Yeah. Crash, have you got any of these player initiatives which you wish had happened?
It's difficult to say. I mean, I didn't really get involved in a lot of them, unfortunately. I think it's just the timing of when they were introduced into the game. But I mean, I did kind of stay abreast of what was going on and the ones that were there. I mean, obviously, Bridging the Gap comes to mind as we were just talking about the mega ship. They're going to Colonia now. And I know very early on that there, before the idea of having the mega ships that you could land on, there was this concept of having a ferry going back and forth, which I thought was a good idea. And again, it kind of opens up more of the galaxy to players that maybe don't have the confidence to do the big trip to Colonia, as it were. So yeah, I'm kind of glad that one went ahead. I don't think there's any one of them that I think I regret happening in that sense. I can't think of a negative one. I think any of them were a good idea. I wish they carried on going and they kind of kept up the pace with them. And I feel like there's quite a few things like that in Elite where these great ideas kind of bubble to the surface. They're tried for a little bit, but they just don't gain traction, and then they kind of fizzle out, which is a real shame, you know, because you look back as far as like the Hutton Mug event. I always go back to that as my cornerstone on it, but that epitomized everything which I thought was great about the community very early on. You know, it was a crazy idea. It was a fun event. Loads of kind of things just cropped up around it that just kind of made it even more interesting and fun. You had and you know, everyone got involved and made it a great event. And I would love to see more things that kind of echo that sort of community spirit. I just feel like sometimes we are restricted and limited by the technology of the game, and the fact that any event that is planned or organized has to be something which is fits within the constraints of the resources which are available. It has to be, you know, relatively simple thing. It has to be something which gives a module, gives credits. It consists of some in-game activities that already exist. You know, there can't be some specific event that fires off. I mean, one that I always see people talking about is the old supernova missions from the original games. Everyone says, "Oh, it'd be great idea," and it's like the trouble with that is these one-off events that you have to be there to experience. It excludes a lot of people, and I think that's the point I'm getting to. Is it's not any one of these events that I have an issue with. I think it's the activity of having something which is done once and you can never go back and experience is a real shame.
I mean, do you think that a Hutton Run 2 might be a do you think we could capture that, or do you think it was lightning in a bottle?
I do feel like it probably is one of those things where it's never going to have that feeling again, but I mean, I'd be up for that. I'd definitely do something completely crazy for a week-long event.
Yeah, put out a call for if you want more Hutton mugs. I mean, that was the birth of Hutton Orbital Radio.
Yes, exactly. We want that. If we can get a bobblehead, if we can convince Frontier to make a mug-shaped bobblehead, I'd be in.
Yeah. Back to you, Shan.
Well, the event I would like a sequel to, and it was an event run by the Sovereignty, if you remember those guys.
Oh, yeah,
and they had a charity stream in which what they did is they gave people all a bog standard Viper build, I think it was, and then for monetary donations, people would then say, okay, I'll pay 10 quid to give Crash a railgun, or I'll pay 20 quid to give Colin Class A thrusters, or something like that. So by paying money, people upgraded their ship, and then they'd have a PvP kind of deathmatch league. And that was immense fun and quite inventive. Plus, it raised quite a lot of money for charity as well. So I wish people would do that sort of thing again, because it was a really good initiative and really fun to have that.
Yeah, pay to win. Anybody? Actually, no.
Well,
That sounds
it's charity. Then it's not. It's charity to win, isn't it? Really.
I mean, that does sound like getting sponsors to help you out in the Hunger Games, really, doesn't it?
I think that's where they based it on, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Is it true you can't get the Hutton orbital decal anymore?
No, you can get the Hutton orbital decal, but
Oh,
you've
you
got
can?
to earn it. Yes, you got to earn it by using
and
Hutton
how'd
Helper
you-
and all that sort of thing.
Oh, right. So it's a specific thing from the Hutton orbital truckers
Yeah.
in order to get the decal. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Right.
Basically.
Right. But you can't get it for just by doing random stuff in the game.
Yes. Basically. They're doing it at the moment with the stuff with the Hutton Helper, like anyone.
So
doing
that was
runs.
mine.
Anyway,
I guess I've got more which said never happened ones than I have ones that want sequels, because I think we tend to remember the negative ones rather than the ones that went on and that.
Well, I mean, I must admit, I think a lot of people are wanting. Yeah, I think one of the things that a lot of people would like, it would be a Distant Worlds 3. Now, I think this one, Distant Worlds 2, I thought was really good to begin with, but then I think it felt like it petered out once a lot of people had got to the center of the galaxy. The second leg from going to all the way to Beagle Point seemed to be a little bit less enthusiastic, and then it took absolutely ages for everyone to come home. I mean, would anybody else be up for a Distant Worlds 3?
Yes. However,
However,
the FOMO is real at the moment. There's a lot of stuff going on in the bubble. So the question is, do I work my ass off on a second account to get it engineered and then go out there but not have my name on New Planets, not have my commander name on New Planets, have a different commander name on New Planets, but know that it's me, but nobody else knows that it's me? Or do I send Psychic out and get names on planets, but then have a really shitty half account at home? What do I do, Colin?
well, I've taken the former. I mean, like I said, I've got my the Phoenix Defier commander is flying around in the Sanctimonious, all the way doing all the stuff, the plot that's happening at the moment, while my Steam commander, she is heading towards Colonia even now, and the thing is, I find that I'm enjoying heading out with the Steam commander exploring. It's very weird. I'm not missing the plot as much as I thought I would. Shan?
I went on the second Distant World with my Shenanigans account, and because I'd already been that way with Shan. Would I go on a sequel? I'm not sure I would, to be fair, because it would need to be substantially different to be the second one, and also I think it would need to be a challenge. And I don't mean in terms of the time invested, because I think the pace of the second one was about right. The 5,000 light years a week or something it was. But I don't know. The first one was amazing because getting to Beagle Point in a non-engineered ship was an achievement. And we all remember Ed Lewis's lunchtime streams where he was trying to get back without navigating. So that sort of thing. But I think engineering has made it a bit easy to do that. So I don't. Maybe Distant Worlds 3 could be you have to do it in fleet carriers. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, is there any event which you wish hadn't happened? Now, I've got one, but I want to leave it till last. I want to see if anybody else says it as well. Okay, Shan, you've got two. Go on.
Well, I think I know which one you'll choose, and it starts with the word SAL. But anyway, let's I'll just do mine then. There was a charity stream, and I think it was done by the Hammers of Slough and the Sovereignty and a few others. There was a charity stream again, another one, and there were so many charity streams going on in the years. It's been amazing. But what happened was, I think it was Kate Russell was on her way to do her bit in the charity stream, and she kept getting interdicted and killed.
Yeah.
by a certain commander who should never even be in the game at that point. And it was a really jerky, horrible, I won't swear on stream, but anyway, it was a real thing to do. And as a result, it took her 2 hours. She was 2 hours late for the event. And in that 2 hours, a lot of money could have been raised because of that one moron doing that. So the interruption of charity streams and things like that by gankers who think it's funny, yeah, that's definitely not repeat that.
Okay. Psychic, you have 1.5, have you?
Well, no, I have like a half one. Because I think it's one of those ones which is funny to look back at, and I'm really glad that it happened in the way that it did. However, when it did happen, I don't necessarily would say that it was really it was a player-driven event. When the Gnosis jumped into the system, and all hell broke loose, and there were people who were automatically getting bounties because they were shooting close to the ship, and then they got teleported miles, like really, really far away, and it was a fustercluck of the most marvelous proportions that you can look back on it and think, yeah, that was really, really funny. That was something really funny. But for those commanders who were there at the time, it was really, really disheartening and horrible. So, which is why I'm saying like it's like half of one, because I'm glad that it's happened, because it feels like there's a little bit of a learn from our mistakes thing that went along with it. But at the same time, I kind of wish it hadn't.
Well, no, I mean, I'm with you on this, because what happened with me was that I wasn't feeling well at the time, so I missed the Galnet news article that went out too early. And by the time I logged into the game, they had fixed the issue with the megaship shooting down other people. And I knew that this was going to be interdicted anyway, because when the Eagle Eye network was pointing, all the satellites were pointing at the same system where the Genosis was, you knew something was going to go wrong. So I wasn't going out there in my exploration ship, I was going out there in my anti-Thargoid ship. So when I launched from the Gnosis at that time, I had a great week of a Battlestar Galactica like defending the megaship as it got repaired, and I thought it was brilliant, and I didn't understand what had gone wrong before, and so when it worked, it was great. But for the people who got caught up on it not working, it must have been a right kick in the teeth.
Yeah, that too. Those two.
Yeah. Yes, I suppose I should do my one then. And controversially, I hated the Salome event. I really did. I mean, I know that it brought a whole load of people together, and there was a whole lot of organisation, both for and against, and things like that. But the amount of damage it did to the community afterwards was phenomenal. And
it was incredibly divisive, wasn't it? And it was just am I allowed to swear on stream? Or do I have to be polite?
Swear about it.
Yeah, I think we'll allow it this time.
Well, what bugged me was the fact that wanker, who should never have been in the game after exploiting the game 5,000 times previously, got infamy because of a pointless act caused by a bug and him being a wanker. That was it. I don't mind the result, because the narrative, Salome had to die. That was kind of the natural end of that story. So the fact she died isn't the issue. It was how it was done and all the glorification of being a wanker that put me off it.
Yeah. It was just one of those issues where you kind of knew that you would want this kind of event to work, but it just, I don't think the infrastructure was there to make it work properly. And it just, I don't know, the amount of, don't use weapons. If you have weapons, then we're going to shoot you down. and you just knew, oh, come on, that is someone's setting someone up here in Eve-like proportions. And yeah, it did turn out exactly how. Actually, Grant jokingly said the week before that aforementioned commander will shoot down Salome, and the smugness he radiated for being right for the next couple of months was unbelievable. Psychic?
Sort of on a little bit of a par with that. I love like mass jumps. Mass jumps are some of like my favorite things to see in game. I think that's awesome. But big events where you that rely, and we touched on that earlier, that are like time zone exclusive.
Oh God,
I'm not super keen on. I like for example, I love the buckyball races because everything is a time trial, and so anytime that like when we had our hand in doing when we as in my faction had a hand in like setting up a buckyball-esque type of event, we wanted to make sure that it was a time trial so that anybody who was anywhere on any on any Horizon, Odyssey, PC console everyone could be involved. And I'm not super keen on like time zone exclusive things. Having come from a faction that was incredibly US based and being up at stupid o'clock in the morning to take part in some of their things, I like to steer clear of doing things like that because it alienates a lot of people.
Okay, Crush.
Yeah, I think it echoes what I was saying earlier on. Definitely, it's a real shame when there's one of those things, because I like to be inclusive enough that everyone can get involved and see these events, and I hate it when it's something which, oh, did you see that one? And someone tells you about it like 2 months later, which has happened to me on a couple of things, and I was like, oh, it's like, no, I was too busy, I was on holiday or something. I don't like things like that, so it's a real shame when that happens. But again, it is tricky in this environment that Elite exists within. It's kind of this MMO like environment. You've got to have events that change the nature of the galaxy, like Colonia being discovered and so on and so forth. There's no way of going back. It's not like WoW Classic. You can't go back to an earlier time. It's a real shame.
Yeah, I mean, we used to have these things, these events as part of the Matrix Online, because the Matrix Online used to, it's got the same kind of thing. It was a very sandboxy, very grindy game, but the one thing that made the game good was the fact you had these sort of GM covered events. But what they were able to do was they were able to use those events and create missions of them, and you used to be able to visit them in a Matrix archive. And I do feel that sometimes I wish there was some kind of archive that you could say, right, okay, let's get involved with that process again. You got a positive one there, Shan.
Yes, one I used to take part in and help out quite a bit was the Sidewinder Sports Day in Slough, where they had a number of events that were really inventive and quite silly and stupid, but they were great fun. So that sort of thing, I miss that sort of happening again. But it's interesting you're talking about events in other games and prepare your drinks, because the guild I still ran in Guild Wars 1, every Chinese New Year, what would happen in the game is the players were challenged to go around the world gathering ingredients, and then you hand them into a chef, and then everyone in your instance would get given a miniature sort of pet or something like that. It'd be worth having anyway. So one day I said, oh, wouldn't it be good if we just went and got a set of ingredients and kind of like gave everyone in our instance a pet, so they didn't actually have to do anything. So my guild kind of took hold of that initiative, and we kept it going for 24 hours over the entire weekend, and gave pets to 32,000 players in total during that event. And I miss that sort of scale of event in Elite, not the 32,000, but that ability to give of yourself, of your time, whatever, to be able to help other people and that sort of event. And that's what I liked about the Sidewinder Sports Stage, the charity events. Some of the stuff other people did, that's the sort of thing I really enjoyed, because when done well, they stick in the memory.
I'll agree with that because, there's been a couple of. I mean, I think the one event that really sticks in my mind, and I wish that they do a replacement of this one. The Lou event seemed to. I think it was one of the first community goal that used wings. I know it's pretty much lightning in a bottle trying to recreate something like that, but because at that point it felt like once you chose one side, you couldn't choose the other. So if you sided with the Federation, that's it. You couldn't go with the Empire. I just felt it was. I suppose you always remember your first, really. Yeah.
I mean, we cover Community Corner each week, and people hopefully will forgive me on stream if I've forgotten something. But has there been anything like, if you like, the Sidewinder Sports Day and those sort of silly events that we talked about recently, or has it been more of a one-off, small-scale thing? I'm trying to remember, and please forgive me again if I've missed something out. But
I mean, apart from I think the race management app that we've seen with Alec lately, I don't think I've seen anything silly organized like that in quite a while. I'm afraid to say. I mean, obviously there's an expedition happening at the moment because Sally Morgan Moore is on that at the moment, and she's thoroughly enjoying doing all the mass jumps that are there. But just doing daft stuff. Well, I do know that Down to Earth Astronomy and Ghost Giraffe have been both trying to do daft stuff, trying to get commanders to EVA. In other words, they're trying to get commanders into orbit in just a spacesuit.
Yeah, I did see that one. It was a planet with a browned 0.1G, and find a nice little geyser somewhere, nice little geyser, dodgy geyser on a crater, and jump into it, and you can launch yourself up into the air, quit the menu, and then when you come back in, you are effectively in orbit in a suit, which is brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, I remember seeing a Scorbus try and do something like that, where they were doing what can only be described as a sort of a stairway to heaven, where what would happen was they'd have one commander starts and he jumps on top of a ship, and then another ship would line up just behind it and a bit higher. So the commander would then jump from one ship to the other and then just go up and up and up and up and further until they got into orbit. The highest they managed to get was 15 kilometers. Which, when you think about it, they're only going up sort of like 5 meters at a time. Yeah. So silly things do still happen, Shan. It's just I don't think they're as well publicized as they used to be.
yeah, I was just thinking as you were mentioning that perhaps we should encourage people to do that sort of thing again, because we're seeing an awful lot of division and strife and arguing and toxicity and goodness knows what else in the community at the moment. Some of it's the negative stuff is justified, sometimes it's not, etc., etc. And I'm just wondering whether we have community events where just draw people together, have a silly fun time, will help join things together a bit again. I don't know. Maybe I'm being naive and wistful thinking, but it does need something, I think, to pull people in and remember the game can be fun.
Yeah. I mean, I must admit. I mean, I do want to. I'm going to drop Alec a call at some point and see whether or not I can join in one of those SRV race. Well, excuse me. I have to join in one of the SRV races because they look a lot of fun. The problem is getting to certain places by a certain time can be quite difficult. It's always down to the time zones and whether free time is available. Yeah, Commander Ventura did say it's obvious that you don't listen to Hutton Orbital News because they're always doing silly things. So you had the glass challenge with the
We
birds.
did. Yeah, no, we did the Fill the Glass challenge back in August. That had a really good turnout. That was really fun. You did that, Colin. Remember,
Did I?
you were right at the bottom of the leaderboard.
What did we have to do?
Collecting booze and taking it to Glass Landing.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah. And we
Well,
had
make
then
the effort.
the Burr Pit set up this amazing Halloween event, which was really, really, really fun. And then and there were so many commanders there, like just stuff stopped working in general. That was really good fun. There's been a couple. There were a couple sort of dotted about here and there, like really fun events.
Yeah, yeah. I think I think we'll actually put out a call to the community in general to say, listen, if you've got a daft event and you want people to know about it, send it our way. We'll spread the news as far as we can. And
I think when also it's going to be really, really helpful when they find Zach's idea of this community calendar finally goes up, because I think we'll see more stuff going up and more interesting events being held.
I completely forgot that he was trying to do that.
I hope it's still on the docket, because that would be really good.
Yes. So yeah, it's going to have to be something that, one of the things about the Elite is the community, and it's when the community works together, it's a fantastic game to be involved in. But when it gets so decisive, like the or derisive, like the Salome event, or if you go on the forums right now, then it can be horrible sometimes. So yeah, I suppose just like any other MMO out there at the moment. Right. Well, I think that's kind of come to an end, unless anybody has got one final point they want to bring up.
Well, I would just like to underline the invitation you just did, Colin, is that the fact we can't remember stuff doesn't mean to say it didn't happen. It's that let us know. We tend to have a few listeners dotted around the world, so give us sufficient notice and detail, and we'll plug them. We even have a section for it.
Yeah, Commander Ventura.
Hello. Right, so what I was trying to say was on Hutton Orbital, they do a lot of the community bit during the news. So yes, it is always a good idea for the community to actually send in stuff to the shows. So yeah, because then we can spread the word and get other people involved. Okay, thanks.
Okay, there we have our public service announcement from our Hutton Orbital radio representative there. Right, on the subject of community, on to Community Corner. Well, Operation IDA or IDA, they are now fixing Ark's faith for the third time in HR 1183. So if you wish to help repair that station, that's where they're up to, and that's where they're focusing their efforts. From the Anti-Xeno Initiative, from their Thargoid Watch website, it's still the same three systems that they're working on. Pleiades Sector PD-S, B4-0, Musca Dark Region, PJ-P, B6-1, and Evangelis in the Coalsack Nebula, all seem to have... they've made headway, but unfortunately... they haven't managed to clear the infestation from those systems yet, and yet another 4 systems have come under Thargoid attack. So it does feel like this is an overwhelming Thargoid invasion, but they haven't headed towards the bubble yet. They seem to be just attacking in nebulas. Now, this is the big one of interest to, I think, a few people. On the 10th of December, Frontier are doing a Christmas community meetup. Now, this is in Cambridge on Friday the 10th, and it's a genuine meetup where you end up meeting other people face to face. It's all proceeds from any ticket sales and raffle tickets are going to the Special Effect charity. Yes, it's. I must admit, I bought my ticket straight away, and then I think 2-3 hours later they started talking about the Omicron on whatever variant it is of COVID. Bloody hell, Shan.
Yeah, as I was hitting refresh at 5 o'clock, like I think quite a few people were. I mean, I know. I know I said I wouldn't spend another penny on Frontier, and that's still true because it's all going to special effect, which makes it even more worthwhile. So I'm definitely going on the 10th. Worked my transport and arranging it out. To be fair, I'm not that worried about the Omicron variant because it's not everywhere at the moment. The likelihood and signs are it may be more transmissible, but it doesn't hit as hard as Delta. And C, I'll have a mask. D, I've triple jabbed. And E, I've done as much as I can do because I refuse to put my life on hold anymore.
Yeah. Funniest thing that I saw on social media this week is this is not how I wanted to learn the Greek alphabet. So.
Well, someone did point out that that XI is the next letter, and of course, who is the chairman of the Communist Party in China? So they're speculating that's why it's not the Xi variant.
Well, Commander Ventura, Top Shift 131 is still in progress as I run around doing delivery missions in that bloomin' adder. If you could put a little ting at the end of that'd be great. You know, like the cowboy spit ting. Yes. I must admit, I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to be taking down the Elite Miniatures game, so if anybody wants to have a game of that while we're down there, that'd be. I'm willing to run a couple of games. So I take it it's not appealing to you, Psychic?
It would be appealing to me, but I have something else happening next week that I am devoting all of my chronically pained and ill spoons to, so I legitimately would not have the energy or the capability to go to Friday's event. I would love to, but I cannot do both.
Yes. I do believe tickets are still available at the moment, but they are running out. And there's only supposed to be 100 tickets anyway.
That's interesting. I expect them to be sold out in like an hour, because when LaveCon tickets go on sale, they're sold out within an hour, aren't they, usually?
Don't we normally like announce LaveCon a little bit more than 2 weeks in advance, though?
We do.
Yeah, that might be the thing.
Yeah, we normally announce them 2 weeks in advance, and on top of, well, more than 2 weeks in advance. And on top of that, we have to release them in batches, because if we release them all in one go, they'd all go in one go. And for some people, it's, yeah. Plus
So why
also,
didn't they
Chris
more...
Mark IV makes a excellent point. Of sort of, yes, it's also very close to Christmas when people are doing Christmassy things and presents, so money isn't as available as it should be, and also that you can't discount that some people are going to be put off because of the pandemic.
Yeah, I'm just wondering why they didn't, give people longer to think about it, get transport, because it's 2 weeks away. So they gave people 2 weeks notice. I'm just wondering why they left us such short notice. I realise there's only 100 people can go, but still, you'd think.
I think it was a whim on Arthur's part, because they were saying about 2-3 weeks ago, it's just an idea. This is just something we're running past people. I think they just had an idea of why can't we try that? Crash.
Yeah, it's a shame. I echo that same sentiment. I would like to do it. I am desperately trying to figure out some way I can do it. And by the time I arrange childcare, I'm sure the tickets would have sold out. So I'll try still. I'd like to see you guys. It'd be nice to meet up in meat space for once.
Space.
But yeah, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed it can happen.
Yeah. Well, here's something for Shan to chew over. You know how you were saying that you absolutely hate 5 times elite? Well, you're going to have to congratulate Commander Musketeer, who has now worked out that he has just hit elite for the 10th time at CQC.
I think that deserves a round of applause.
It does. It does. I mean,
so basically, he is now elite 10 times over at CQ. I mean, bloody hell! I mean, I had to look at his stats and 30,000 victories.
Yeah, that's some serious endurance.
That's a lot of CQC. That's more CQC than I could certainly stomach.
I don't know. I think I could stomach a lot of CQC. I mean, I was talking to Chig and Jay and Trax about the Loose Screws podcast do a CQC night, which is actually probably going to be on tonight. So if people were interested. And Musketeer turned up to one of their sessions and basically just wiped the floor with them. He is literally that good. It's like your average TIE fighter pilot going up against a Jedi. And it's not going to work. Anyway, so we just like to take our hats off to the Musketeer for just basically owning everybody's ass whenever you go into a CQC arena. It's a phenomenal thing to watch, and I just wish there was a spectator mode so more people could watch it. But that'll get me started on CQC stuff, and we don't want to go there just now. Yeah, and Obsidian Ant came out with a new video which showed the results of his poll. He put out a poll 4 or 5 days ago saying some of the stuff about how people's reaction is going to be from Odyssey, and let's just say it was not overwhelmingly positive. He was saying that about approximately 30%, or 1 in 3 really, are happy or satisfied with Odyssey, while there's another 10% which say they're not bothered about it, and then another whacking sort of like 52% which said we're not going to touch Odyssey with a barge pole. And I just thought, well, all I can say is that I am actually still enjoying Odyssey. But
I think the caveat to that was, I think the question that got, if you like, the most negative response wasn't "I hate it," it's just "I don't plan to play it in 2022." And then the middle one is "I'm going to play it until a game I plan to buy is going to come out." In other words, it's there to pass the time. But to give him fairness, he did focus quite a bit on the 30% or whatever it was of people who were enjoying the content, who was playing the game, and stated that given it's only his audience, it's not like everyone in the game. He didn't go around and ask every commander. It's this of the people who watch his videos and can be bothered to vote. That's the shape of the responses. So it's an indicator. I don't think it's the whole picture.
yeah, I mean, yeah, I must admit, I'm getting tired of all the We Hate Odyssey videos that are coming out at the moment, and yeah.
I did a quick look back. Is the last outright negative one Ant did was back in July, I think it was. I did sort of go back, so I don't know. There's something strange going on in the community, and this is what we talked about, having this division. You either love it or you hate it, and it's almost like Leave and Remain, and it just needs to be things that bring people together to try and remember what's fun about it, and more importantly, about the people behind the keyboard.
Yeah. Anyway, So yeah, well, that's Obsidian Ant's new video. So make of that what you will. Well, I guess we'll move on. Has anybody got? Yeah, make fun number one, says Crash. Yes, I completely agree with that. Right. Has anybody got any other business that they want to bring up before I go through the shout-outs?
I wouldn't mind bringing up something.
Off you go.
It's a tiny bit controversial. I've seen a lot of people snipping at each other over which space games they choose to play. I've seen a lot of this happen on Twitter recently.
Mm-hmm.
And public service announcement, stop policing each other's fun. It was Crash just reminded me of it. Nobody's fun is wrong. Please stop policing each other's fun. If somebody enjoys something that you don't enjoy, please don't rib on them for it. It's okay to have different opinions. But we're in such a fortunate position, and I've said this so many times, I feel like I'm a broken record right now, but we're in such a fortunate position in that if you want to play a space game, you can play a space game. And a lot of these space games are great and immersive and fun. And have your fun, enjoy your space games. I can think a few years ago, or a few years ago, I couldn't pick up a space game or a space game that I could really get my teeth into and enjoy, or really probably would even think that I would be enjoying the space games in the multitude of space games that we currently have. Just play a space game. If one space game isn't scratching that particular itch, use a different space game to scratch that itch. They have a multitude of options. It's great. Enjoy it. But Paul Archer is wrong about the S-Scout. I'm just saying. That is wrong.
What, the fact that he actually likes to fly?
I mean, I'm sorry, Paul, but you're wrong. I cannot have you have that fun. But sorry, I'll get down off my soapbox now. But I've seen it a couple of times, and I'm just like enjoy the time that you have to enjoy the things that you enjoy. Gah!
Yeah, I must admit, I get the same kind of thing when I do put out a top shift. I do get a lot of, why are you still playing this crap?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm there going, because I enjoy it. And I can't try Star Citizen because my machine doesn't run it.
I think just in general, I'm not sure it's limited to just what space game you have. It's just people. I mean, you see it everywhere. I mean, I see it in the electric car forums and groups I belong to. Oh, you didn't buy this car, did you? That's a waste of money, blah, blah, blah. Or you even see it when it comes down to people's choices of trainers or something. As soon as you spend money and time on something, there'll be someone somewhere who wants to say you're wrong because they spent the money and don't want to feel as though they wasted it. And it's just people. I don't think it's a particular thing. It's just people being moron, doing that.
I have just seen it really prevalent within the Elite Dangerous space. And the thing that we're also really lucky with Elite Dangerous, with Star Citizen, with No Man's Sky, with X, Y, and Z other games, a lot of these communities are so welcoming and inclusive, and we're super fortunate to be representative of one of those inclusive amazing communities, and just enjoy the time that you have, because the world is shit.
You see, I've tended to find they're very welcoming until you express an opinion that's against the groupthink, and then they're not as welcoming.
Okay, Crash.
Yeah, I think as I've said in the chat there, it's tribalism. But it happens everywhere. Be it video games, be it car manufacturing preference, or football teams, you name it. Tribes will be tribes. Humans are always going to be the same. It's one of those things you just can't drill it out of the nature of human beings, I think.
Well, okay, and in that world, a moment where we've suddenly realised that we're living in a real world again, I think we shall move on to some shout-outs. So first off, of course, Dockers doing their charity Christmas filthy special. I think we got infected by it last week, and again, I can only apologise. So if you want more of that kind of filth, go to www.justgiving.com/team/beyonddockers. Now, as Commander Ventura pointed out, Psychic, don't you dare! as our sisters, as Commander Ventura quite kindly pointed out, our sister station, Hutton Orbital Radio, it broadcasts on a Thursday at 8:30. You can tune in at twitch.tv/Hutton Orbital Truckers, or if you want the audio, go to radio.forthemug.com. For the discerning commander that likes a bit of CQC action, and see if you can take out Commander Musketeer, then you can check out the CQC Discord at discord.me/Elite Dangerous CQC. We're also going to give a shout outs to the following Elite Dangerous podcasts. So there's Alagrab AM, Black Sky Legion, Canon Podcast. The Spanish speakers have the Elite Cast. There's the Fatherhood Podcast. Who is on Flight Assist this week?
Commander Katie Chaos.
Who is the same age? She's actually older than me.
I mean, those people do exist, Colin.
I know. I just didn't. Apart from Shan, obviously, but I didn't. I thought I was one of the oldest. You see.
Okay.
Just hold out. Do you think I am, Colin?
67.
I know what Toxic is. I tell you.
Dear. Yeah, actually, I've listened to the Flight Assist this morning on the bike in. So well recommended. There's the Guard Frequency, Loose Screws, Squeaking Fuel, and System Chat. And for those that want a literary discussion about sci-fi and fantasy books, then there's the Data Slate podcast, as provided by Station Commander Alan Stroud. Now, following this, we should have the latest Galnet News Digest, as provided by Commander Witherspoon and Commander Beetlejude. And would like to thank everybody who's chipped in on the Twitch chat. And I wonder, Chris Mark IV, have you had a lot of people saying or waving to you?
Yeah, we've had quite a few tonight, actually. We've had Commander Soka 42 has just turned up at Lave Station. We've got Miggles, Hayden Wills, Void Flames earlier on tried to launch me into orbit when I jumped on top of his ship, and Commander Crash has been hanging about Lave Station as well.
Oh, right, okay. We'll see how we'll have to get the security droids on him as quickly as possible.
Nothing.
Not do nothing. We'll also say special thanks to Commander Togoso, who created the intro music for the introduction of the show. Now, that is it for another episode of Lave Radio. If you'd like to get in touch with the show, you can email info@laveradio.com. Hit us up at facebook.com/laveradio. Tweet us at Lave Radio. And you can join our Discord server by going to discord.io/laveradio. We also have a TeamSpeak server where commanders like to hang out and chat. And you can find that at teamspeak.laveradio.com. Do get in touch if you've got any questions or if there's anything you'd like to discuss in a future episode. And can we also ask, if it's not too much trouble, give us a rate and review on either iTunes or whatever podcatcher that you use. Because I think it's nice that we just get the occasional bit of sunshine up the bottom, I think.
How much did Ben say he'd pay per 5-star review again?
I hate to think. Actually, the mind boggles.
Yeah, so think of a favour you want Ben to do for you.
Involving pizza.
Involving anything, really. I mean, he's very open-minded.
No, people who know Dockers will understand what Ben means by pizza. See,
What
it's
does he
gone, and
mean?
it's gone and infected me again. I didn't want that. Anyway, so yeah, if you could just drop us a review and give us a rating, we really appreciate it because it does help us with the algorithms, and we want to be number 1 in New Zealand, not number 5. Yes. For those of you who are interested, Lave Radio is recorded live on a Tuesday evening at 8:30 and then streamed out at laveradio.com/live and on YouTube and on Twitch and on Facebook. So thanks to Crash, thanks to Shan, and thanks to Psychit. And special thanks goes to today's tech specialist, which I do believe is Commander Ventura.
Yes, that's me.
It is, yes. I didn't know whether it was you or Chris, but until next time, Commanders, fly safe. And if you can't do that, fly dangerous.
Is your life like this? Sounds like someone having an orange inserted into them. Need a safe word. Space can be loaded. I'm gonna see the galaxy.
Ah, damn it. No worries, guys. Hold the fort for 2 seconds. I'll be right back.
Galnet News Digest, 30th of November 3307. We read the news so you don't have to.
In this week's news, Act closes in on Theta 7.
The Drifting Dredger.
Thargoids make headway as Tanner arrested.
Cat steals robots. And other stories.
Despite attempts to bribe pilots to assist their cause, the NMLA has lost the battle for supremacy in Madrid. The Epsilon Phonasis Empire Group has an unassailable military stranglehold on the system, thanks largely to those who fought alongside them to prevent the bomb maker Theta 7 from escaping the Far-God megaship Sacrosanct and rejoining the Neo-Marlinists aboard the hijacked Steel Majesty. Together, they could have instigated another bombing campaign targeting starports in their bid to overthrow the Imperial Duval dynasty and recreate the original republic of the murdered Marlin Duval. Separately, they are vulnerable to detention by the Imperial faction. Can they escape in their megaships? If they try, they're likely to be tracked down in hours. Can they threaten their hostages? The Epsilon Phonasis Empire Group has already made it clear that it will not allow itself to be prevented from eliminating Theta 7 just because of a few hundred hostages. But it seems likely that the arrests will be attempted on Thursday. Will this finally put an end to the NMLA?
Repairs are nearing completion on the Scrivener's Clan Dredger, as it prepares to jump away from the Orion University megaship Scientia Aeterna, which has held it detained for more than 6 weeks following an ownership claim. There was a huge turnout of pilots wanting to both contribute to the Scrivener's knowledge core and to repair the dredger. Orion University has given up its claim to the dredger and has also admitted that it cannot persuade the Scriveners to allow Orion University staff on board to participate in the scientific research of the clan. The dredger and its precious information are soon likely to jump away into obscurity. There have been reports that the Scientia Aeterna has been manoeuvring closer to the dredger, perhaps to mast-lock it. The two ships certainly seem very close when viewed from the bar, but there seems little concern from those on board the Orion University ship about the imminent departure of the ship they were sent to reclaim.
"17 systems are suffering Thargoid incursions, according to Thargoid Watch, and most of those systems still have a massive presence. The Thargoid presence in systems invaded in the 5 weeks since Salvation used his secret weapon to clear Thargoids out of Cornsar appears to be far harder to shift than previously. Work is underway to clear Pleiades Sector PD-S, B4-0 of Thargoids, and it seems feasible that it can be achieved this week. However, if 2 or 3 more systems are attacked on Thursday, we will still be losing ground to the Thargoid invasion. Admiral Tanner, who believes that Salvation provoked the Thargoids into this far more stubborn and hard-to-shift invasion by the use of his super weapon, is to stand trial for mutiny after he unilaterally attacked Taurus Mining Ventures in T-Tauri in a failed bid to find out more about Salvation. If convicted, he is likely to remain in prison for the rest of his life. The consequences for Aegis and Salvation could hardly be more significant. With Tanner out of the way, and the Bauman report likely to castigate Aegis's poor management, Aegis will be a spent force. And Salvation, and his secret weapon, will have become the only option for repelling the Thargoid invasion. Within the last 24 hours, the Federal Congress has been considering whether to remove funding from Aegis entirely, instead using the funds to support the development of Salvation's super weapon. And military support for Salvation may be provided by both Imperial and Alliance navies. This is all despite neither the Federation, Empire or Alliance having any idea who Salvation actually is. Meanwhile, the defunded and partially suspended Aegis continues to do its job as best it can by providing the repair and rearm megaships in systems that have been invaded by Thargoids.
The kleptomaniac villain known as the Winking Cat has struck several times since the theft of a ceremonial playing card from the Joker's Deck Gambling Club. In addition to an enormous portrait of one of the ancient Duval emperors, they've stolen a state-of-the-art security robot. Quite what they're planning remains mysterious, but they're causing bafflement and entertainment in equal measures.
In other news, gatekeeper megaships have been established to ensure that permits for permit-lock systems can still be obtained, even if the issuing faction is only otherwise present in the permit-lock system. And the Colonia Bridge Initiative will be establishing a number of starports along the route to Colonia starting in early January, and will be offering double-engineered frameshift rides again to participants.
With the revelation that 4 crew multi-crew ships get 9 energy pips to play with, commanders are looking forward to the day when there are 7 crew ships, perhaps the Panther Clipper. That'll mean 12 pips and an end to pip management. The Alliance Crusader, Anaconda, Beluga, Federal Corvette, Imperial Cutter, Type 9 and Type 10 ships all support a crew of 4.
Finally, enterprising commanders have discovered a way to get a commander into space without a ship, and apparently not subject to the gravity of the planet below. The trick is to find a low-gravity world with active geysers and to jump into one of these to get flung several hundred metres into the sky. Once at the top of the arc, turning off the suit computer and then logging back into it again makes the galaxy somehow forget there's a moon with a gravitational pull not very far away, and the commander is then able to use their jetpack to fly around, land on passing spacecraft using their mag boots, and otherwise fritter away some time in a novel and interesting way. It's pointless, But for the commander who's tried everything else, why not bring along 21 friends and an umpire and play a game of zero-G cricket?
And that's this week's Galnet News. Galnet News, we read the news so you don't have to.